Perfect. Tyler, did you vote for Trump?
I'm actually Canadian, but I
Oh,
do support him.
gotcha.
Are you down to still?
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. Ninja, did you vote for Trump?
What's up, man? DeAndre Jordan looking at that nigga.
Did you vote for Trump?
Paul George looking at that nigga. Charlie Villanueva looking at that nigga.
Okay.
Charles Barkley looking at that nigga.
Do you want to actually articulate an argument or show your numbskull behavior even further? Oh, that was that. Welcome back in, y'all. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you are over on the tube side,
why are you running? Why are you running?
You may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. We don't really deal with Maple MAGA over here. I think your opinions are irrelevant. For one thing, you would be speaking from a nice, comfy, universal healthcare nation. So, I'm like, you can say what you want to say about Donald Trump as you're able to go to any key appointment or specialist free. Like, I'm not doing that. And then I guess other people only have really bad roast. What is up with like Trump supporters not being funny at all? Any case. Mary, did you vote for Trump? Mary, did you vote for Trump?
Sorry, didn't mean to come up.
Gotcha. I'll go ahead and drop you down. Oh, did not
Thank you. Have a good evening.
There we go. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. Maple Mag is brutal as hell. Like, what is the purpose of that? First off, they live over there. If you support them so much, you can come to the United States. You can do that. That's a thing you can do. Carl, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
And do you regret your vote?
No.
No.
What am I, minced meat? I'm triggered, Hector.
Okay, please don't display it here. Carl, why don't you regret your vote?
Why don't I regret it?
Yeah. I can give you several reasons as to why you should.
Okay, why do you think I should?
Easy, simple, light work. I think you should regret your vote for Donald Trump for the same reasons that I regret the reason why I ever supported him. Is the fact that he is a pathological liar and literally plays Americans on a daily basis. And he does it in front of your face. He's done it with several positions that he's held. He's done it with campaign promises that he made in 2024 that he completely dropped or was barely doing in 2026. He did it when he said he was going to secure our elections, or more so meant to secure it in Republicans' favor. Yet we see many cases happen across the U.S., the most recent one being in the state of Nevada, that shows that this election integrity argument that he's made in regards to the 2020 election was false, and then we don't have this mass amount of undocumented migrants voting in our elections to favor him, or Biden at the time.
What?
Oh,
it's not even really the argument.
That the FBI
the whole voter the whole voter fraud thing isn't just about undocumented people voting, right? No, it was saying that like there's fake people, like there's a whole like sort of thing that he was trying to like prove there. And I don't necessarily, I'm not like super convinced of that, right? But I don't think that there was a fake person or a fake vote, rather, is like someone who's maybe not alive, or maybe like duplicates, or maybe like switching votes through the machine. Like, yeah, those are potentialities that haven't been proven yet.
Well, we've had they have been proven. We've had errors in every election. That is a common thing.
Are you recording me?
What do you mean? Am I recording you?
What was I just hearing?
This is a live.
No, I was just hearing an echo of my own voice. I don't know what that was.
I don't know why you'd be hearing an echo. It may be an issue I'm having on my end. Erica, are you having an echo when you speak?
Let me see. No, I don't hear an echo.
Y'all hear that, chat?
God bless you.
Chat, are y'all hearing an echo?
God bless you.
It was like me talking a while before, so it didn't sound like an echo. It seemed like recording of like 15 seconds before. So.
Well, obviously this is a live stream, so it would be recording.
Well, yeah, no, I meant like you recording on top of it, like it was being played back.
Why would I need to do
obviously. Dude, what I just heard in my ear is why I would ask you that question. Is that hard to understand?
Sure. It
If
was
you
a
didn't hear it,
sexist question. It would
if you didn't
obviously
hear
be a
it, then
different
that's
era.
fine.
People echo for several reasons. Have nothing to do with recordings. Anyways, Donald Trump ran off of securing elections, and he's done nothing to do so. In fact, he's jeopardizing the integrity of our elections, as he's been since 2020.
How so?
With his lies about how the votes should have went. Every single election where him and Republicans lose, he likes to claim fraud and that undocumented migrants are voting and people are putting in false ballots for Biden. Even though 2020 specifically, we showed that a lot of the fake ballots or legitimate ones were actually in Donald Trump's favor.
Yeah, okay. I haven't looked into that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you voted for the man. So there's that.
Yeah.
And if our elections were so jeopardized, why in the world, or how in the world, did he win the 2024 election?
I mean, I don't know, their effort through like people like Charlie Kirk, what he did, getting people to vote, I would say it was pretty substantial. And I don't know, they worked hard, you know. That's how people get elected.
You don't think Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, and many other prominent figures on the right during the 2020 election, or even go back into the 2016 election, they were like the Charlie Kirks
like
before
more
the Charlie Kirks?
Yeah. No, I think that they like this most recent election, they were more like impactful.
Okay.
Why do you think Trump won?
I think Trump won because the average Trump supporter doesn't know things.
Interesting. You could say that about a lot of people who vote.
Sure,
It's
I
not
can.
really like
We're
a
talking
good
about
talking
Trump
point.
supporters right now, aren't we?
No, but that's like kind of irrelevant because like plenty of people that voted for, you know, Democrats don't know anything either.
You know, you're right. Plenty of people vote Democrat didn't know things. So let me clarify. I think 77 million people voted for Donald Trump because 77 million people don't pay attention at all and don't know about the
Damn, all of them?
don't know
That's
about the
pretty
what's the word I'm
interesting.
looking for? The lines, or they have no problem with lines being crossed on your side versus the Democratic one. That's the difference. I think you guys are
What lines
flaky in your
being
positions and beliefs versus Democrats who hold firm. We do not stand for
Yeah,
the
there's
abuse
more-
of women. We do not stand for, again, the lies being told. We do not stand for our health care being jeopardized, civil rights being threatened, whereas you guys do. That's the difference.
That's not really true at all.
Really.
Because, yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, we don't want to mutilate children. We don't want women to hurt their own, you know, babies, for the most part. Even though I'm not really like super pro-life or anything. You know, I actually hold Trump's position. Like, you know, I think 15 weeks is like a reasonable amount of time. Like, we don't need to, you know, like
Can
get
you
with the
name
program.
one
Like,
Democrat in office that wants to quote unquote mutilate children?
anyone who advocates for transgender surgeries for minors, you know.
Can you tell me what Democrat in Congress, Senate, or otherwise
Joe
is
Biden, Kamala
advocating?
Harris, both
You
of them
you
did.
would be
Yeah,
wrong. They did not.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Nope. You
Sure.
will
What was the
not
name of the
find-
policy?
I don't fucking know. That was years ago. They've talked
No,
about
if
it
they were
multiple times. We
advocating
need
for
to
it, then there would
protect
be a name of a
transgender children.
policy. There would be a
Yeah,
bill
whatever.
about it.
Whatever.
There would be
Whatever.
something. I'm so sorry. You don't have to yell. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Does it sound like I'm
So,
yelling?
what's the name of a policy or anything of that nature? Give it to us.
Yeah, I just told you I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's not a
No,
thing.
yeah, it's not real.
You
Of
can't
course,
even
yeah, it's
provide
fake.
any stats
It's
or
fake,
anything.
right?
So you're
Nobody
just making
wants
baseless
nobody.
claims.
Why
is
would
what
you
you're
bring up that
doing.
claim? Why would you bring up that point, right?
No, saying
If
no,
none
saying
of them support.
nobody, saying nobody wants it would be
All right.
wild
I'll let
if
you
it's
speak.
absolute because you're up here making up stuff. No, just give us a policy, anything. Give us something, but you can't give us anything because what you're saying is false. It's incorrect. It's misinformation.
No, it isn't actually.
I know what it is.
Actually, I say what you're doing is disinformation.
Trump said transgender for
What is it?
everyone, and then they took that as Democrats saying it.
What? You guys are lost, aren't you?
Oh,
That part.
no,
that-
I'm not the
exactly
one who
that
said
part.
What?
transgender
That's
for
correct.
everyone.
Just because I haven't done my research on that specific question, right? Like I don't have the name. Like I don't have notes. Like I don't do political stuff.
Hold on.
You're
No
just
one
gonna
asked
say
you to
it's
do a
not
bunch of
happening
research.
because Carl
You
doesn't
literally
know
said
the
in
politician
response
in the
to my
exact
question.
moment where they said
Hey,
they want it to
you
happen.
literally said
No,
in
they're
response to
advocating.
my question. You said in response to my question, what Democrat in the House, Senate, or otherwise wants transgender surgeries for minors, and you said Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, they advocate.
You said that
they want to protect
almost
trans
immediately.
children, right?
So if you believe
language.
that, I would imagine upon asking how or when or what, you'd be able to substantiate it. But you haven't, and now you're falling back on, I haven't done research or whatnot. Then you shouldn't have said it. You just talked out of your ass.
This is absolute bullshit. And I don't care who you're convincing right now.
Yes, your point is absolutely
Someone played the
Democrat
baby
platform.
crying. He needs a bottle.
Yeah,
Somebody get this man a bottle.
You're kind of irrelevant in this conversation, by the way. So you can just
Actually, no, I'm not. I'm extremely irrelevant. I'm the one that's making you
pipe
crash
down,
out
little
right
lady.
now.
No one's talking.
You about to crash out. He about to crash.
Do you act up
out.
over irrelevant people? You're doing a pretty good job as an irrelevant
This is very
woman.
productive, by the way.
Crazy.
Bruh. This is wicked.
I just want to drop in and say I just joined at the part where he was saying, why everyone voted for Trump. And it was because, it was basically just the whole demonization of the complete other side. And I just wanted to say that's such a low
Are you a Trump
IQ.
supporter?
Nobody fucking said that. You guys are actually slow.
Patrick,
You guys are
are you a Trump supporter, Patrick?
Did you hear anything I just said?
No. Are you a Trump supporter, Patrick?
So I'll just restate it. When I joined in, when
Who are you talking to?
My question. We have a show here, and you requested up, and I let you up. So now
Who
you
are
have
you
to follow
talking
the
to?
prompts. Are you a Trump supporter, Patrick? Yes or no?
Hey, I can't hear you when
Are you
I'm
a Trump
speaking
supporter?
and then you start speaking.
Yes or no?
I support Republicans generally.
So that would include Trump. Wonderful. It's almost as if you could have just said yes. Do you regret your vote?
It's a little more nuanced than that, but
if you support Trump, you support Trump. What nuance is there to it?
Because you can support some things about the candidate and
you
not support other
some
things,
which means you would support the person. You can add the some things, but you still support the person.
And so I would assume that you don't support a single thing that he's ever done or said ever. Am I correct in assuming that?
Not through him specifically. He's done things that I think were good.
So really, I came up to say that your whole tactic of saying that that all the millions of Americans who voted for the man, basically just demonizing them, is such a low
what did
IQ
I say about
tactic.
The 77 million?
Listen, if you let me finish. The whole tactic of demonizing the other side is just incredibly.
Right?
I'm just going to keep talking because I can't hear you when you start your sentence in the middle of.
How did I demonize all 77 million people? How did I demonize all 77 million people?
Mate, you got to turn off my mic because you can't start a sentence in the middle of my sentence. How did I demonize
all 77 million people?
Can I speak, or are you going to talk in the middle of my sentence?
My question.
How old are you? How old are you?
You can answer my question.
Or is this just gay sass? I mean, what is this?
Gay sass. All the gay sass that I have, and you still can't answer questions.
This is literally gay sass.
I don't know how gay sass is a challenge to my point. So I'll go ahead and reiterate it. because you seem to have a
everything.
So check this out. 77 million people voted for a civilly liable sexual assaulter. 77 million people voted for a 34-count convicted felon. 77 million people voted for a pathological liar. 77 million people voted for a man who ran off of no wars and got us into one. Said he was going to fix the economy, has been actively bringing up the costs of goods and gas for Americans. So on
Become
and
a man,
so forth.
grow
so
up.
77
this
million
is gay
people
sass.
got played.
Nobody can hear anything
It's as simple
that you're saying.
as that. If you'd like to challenge any of the points that I made, then you're more than welcome to. But you want to talk about demonization, I'm not the guy who voted for him and then got played.
You keep muting my mic. You look at this. You keep muting my mic.
Yes, I'm muting your mic because you're not answering any of my prompts.
That means when I speak, you're
mute
quiet.
your mic
When you
simply
speak,
because of the
I'm
fact
quiet.
that
That's
you
how that works.
fucking talking. Stop talking when the host
Look,
is
and then
talking.
we have some random
There's no
side.
need for you to continue to talk.
You're
when
a side
the host
character.
is
Who are
talking.
you? Who was talking to
Like,
you?
I'm talking right now, and your silly ass keep talking. Stop
You're a side
talking.
character.
It's that
Who are
simple.
you?
If
What are
you
you
would
even
actually
talking
like to
about?
engage in a conversation, by all means, act as if you have some decorum, okay,
You're
with
a
your
side character.
substandard,
What are you even
subpar,
talking?
beyond
No one can
mediocre
understand what you're
IQ.
saying.
Thank
No,
you
You're
that's
very
the
literally
thing
much.
because you
just
have
You
a
can't
speaking
fucking
in the
stop
comprehension
middle.
problem.
talking. Shut up.
Hey,
Look
my
at
guy.
you.
Hey, my guy.
I'm gonna
So
keep muting
the
you.
more
You
I'm
you
gonna
guys
keep
just
the
muting you
more you
until you learn how to
ramble
shut the
on
fuck
about
up, or the host tells me to
demonization
stop.
instead of
Which one are we
actually
gonna do?
addressing the point, is the
Which
more
one
this
are we gonna
goes
do?
on.
The
So this is
triggering
only
is
gonna this is gonna go two
this is
ways. Either you're
crazy.
gonna drop and run because that's the best
Just
you have, or you can actually address what
triggered.
I've said. If you're up here
Triggered.
saying that I'm demonizing 77
Triggered.
million people, articulate
Triggered.
how.
Triggered.
Can you articulate how I'm
Triggered.
demonizing 77
Triggered.
million people?
Triggered.
You're a grown man fighting
Triggered.
a mute button. This is sad.
Look at
This
you.
is sad.
Cool.
Absolutely sad.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds. I'm going to stop muting
You
America.
can leave me
Give
out.
a second. Stop muting
Okay.
it. I want to give you 10 seconds to address my prompt and articulate
Yeah.
the demonization that you allege.
Obey the man.
Because if
Quit
you
muting
did
me.
not, because
You
if you
obey,
did not,
woman.
guess what? Guess what, Patrick? If you don't
Obey.
address what I've said, that means you
Don't
just came
mute.
up here to cry and you actually have no argument. And I don't think that
No,
looks good in
I-
front of
I
about
was-
400
I was
people.
willing to have a
so let's try this again.
conversation.
How did I
No.
demonize
See, you just keep
77 million
talking.
people?
This
10,
is crazy.
9, 8,
You see,
7,
we can't have a
6,
conversation when
5,
your sentence begins in the
4,
middle of mine.
3,
That's not how sentences work.
2,
In case you
1,
didn't go to college
0.
or take.
Trump supporters request up in the box. You're the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Fun fact. Trump supporters regret your vote. This is a prompt that you have to answer, and then I'll give you reasons as to why you should, and you can articulate why you don't. A reason isn't, I don't like how you're demonizing Trump supporters. I was asked a question and specifically why I think people voted for him, and I stated it. If you disagree with my opinion, articulate my opinion. I will substantiate my opinion with facts. I'm not doing the whole crybaby thing. You guys like to use people's lives as your little therapy fucking couches and your rage rooms. You can take that shit somewhere else. I'm here to have a conversation with adults, and I keep getting a bunch of fucking man babies. Trump supporters request up in the box, or you can call the number on screen over on the tube side, 737-295-5321. It shouldn't be hard if you know what you're talking about.
And you don't get paid enough to be their therapist. So there's that.
I sure don't. If you would like to pay me so you can ramble on about how much you can't stand my gay, sassy self, hit up the links in the bio. Hit up the links in the bio. I'll let you know when I start selling feet pics, okay? Hector Talks with
Elbow
2
pics.
R's on Cash App and Venmo. PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's.
Hey, I like your salmon colored shirt. Is it salmon? Salmon colored? Salmon. It's a nice colored shirt you have on there.
Thank you. It's just funny. Why do you guys want me to be gay so bad?
They really want you
Why
to be
you guys
gay,
want me
Hector.
to be?
I'm sorry.
Do you guys remember yesterday, the guy that came up? To be clear, those of you who weren't here yesterday, this is what I said. I said for the next week, so from yesterday, Saturday to this coming Saturday, I'm going to wear quote unquote feminine or bright colors. That's why I'm wearing pink. I'm going to be wearing yellow. I'm going to be wearing purple because for some reason it just triggers them. They completely forget. Never mind. I can't say they forget an argument because they don't have any. They just completely lose their minds the second they see the color, and then they hyper focus on what I would do with my dick versus actually challenging my arguments. And it's strange. It's just strange to me. Anyway. Yeah. And yeah, we'll just start muting. I'm not doing this keyboard warrior thing. Real men wear pink? Absolutely.
Real men do wear pink and purple and lavender and pastel colors. All the pastel colors.
All the pastel colors.
Anywho, it's 350 people in here. Let's make sure we are tapping the screen, sharing the live, reposting, knocking out the gift codes, doing all of the good things. If you'd like to support Hector, check out the links in his bio. This is the Kamala Would Never guide. All right, say it, Hector. Say it one time since I don't have a
God would
soundboard.
never.
There you go. All right. So if you would like to use some Kamala would never gear, especially the hats, which I absolutely love, also the t-shirts, by all means, check out the links in the bio. And if you would like to support the stream, support Hector, you can check out his PayPal, his Venmo, his Cash App. All right. All of the links are in the bio. Do that. And if you're on the tube, you can send a super chat. Everything is appreciated and most definitely accepted. Let's all keep doing all of the good things. And if you are a Trump supporter, get in Hector's box. Get in Hector's box,
They want
request
to
up.
anyway.
It's not exactly. It's not hard to do. Just press that button. You see that little button at the bottom of your screen that is purple and not purple, damn, that's pink and blue. Tap it, make it gray. Get in Hector's box. Or if you are hate watching over on the tube, call in. Call in. All right. Let's do all of the good things, guys. All right. Support a small Black owned business and also support Hector because I said so. That's why. All right. Love you.
Like, look at this. I would like to just hear the convo, but callers keep getting talked over. What convo? What convo did we miss from the last guy who literally just came up here to cry? And then the guy before him ran. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for the not the rainbow slide. Thank you, Stephanie, for the rainbow slide. I appreciate you. Oh, that's diabolical. That's diabolical. W's in the chat to Stephanie. W's in the chat to Stephanie. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I see y'all. I see you, mods. I see you telling them to call in. They're literally not. Guess what, guys? Guess what? When you call in, I ask you questions. You answer the questions. You can ask me questions back, and then I answer them back. Y'all can't get mad because you can't give me nothing, and I talk. Literally. Literally. Who's spamming? Stop spamming. Thank you for getting that. I was just about to get him. It's as simple as that. If you would like to tell me why you support Trump, tell me why you support Trump. Don't get mad when you get challenged. You guys come up and you'll say, I support Trump because he's a good man. I'm going to respond with, do good men cheat on all three of their wives? And then you're going to say, nobody's perfect. And then I'm going to say, no one's asking for perfection, but you said you voted for a good man. And then you're going to pivot to tariffs. And then I'm going to point out that the Supreme Court said your tariffs are unconstitutional. And then you're going to pivot to something else. And I'm going to bring you back to the fact that he did an unconstitutional thing, as you guys say that you're for the Constitution. And then you're probably going to make up some crap about the First and Second Amendment. I'm going to give you examples how he challenges that. That's how this goes. That's how it goes. I don't know why that is so offensive to some of you. W's in the chat to Linda for the $5 Cash App. From one therapist to apparently another. Apparently another is right. I earned this title. I did not go get my license for it, but apparently I'm a makeshift TikTok therapist for these freaking people. W's in the chat to you, Linda. W's in the chat to Nina for the $10 Venmo. Thanks for what you do. I do my best, Nina. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. W's in the chat to you. Guys, best way to support the platform is going to be links in the bio. If you're over on the tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. What's your name here? Antonio, did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Antonio, I've been accused of not allowing people to talk. So I want to give you 60 seconds. 60 seconds to say your piece uninterrupted. And your time starts now.
Did you want to ask a question first as to why I voted for him?
Well, the question would be,
I can go your way.
The question would be if you regret your vote.
No, I don't regret my vote at all. Because basically my vote was based off of what is it called? Somewhat of the transgender movement, where as though it's focused on children. Because I have kids in school. So it's a personal thing for me to make sure that they're not taught something that I'm not teaching at home. Because school has my child 8 hours a day. I work 2 jobs. I only see him like 4 hours. So mine was kind of personal.
You still have time. Was that it?
Oh, no, that's it for right now. I mean, we have a conversation. We go back and forth.
Absolutely. Cool. So public schools aren't teaching transgender ideology.
Yes. In Virginia, they rejected Title IX.
What is Title IX?
Title IX is like a movement that Trump put in place to say, leave the children, let the children be. When they become 18, they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. something I agree with.
I want to give you an opportunity to try again. What is Title IX?
I can't go into Title IX as far as all of it.
Okay.
But I know
Title
that
IX isn't
Abigail
something Trump
Spanberger
made up, nor is it a gay movement agenda thing.
I didn't say gay movement. I said transgender.
Adding on to what it isn't and how you're relating it. Title IX is civil rights, my guy. It passed in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Sex-based discrimination. That's what Title IX is.
I don't know if I would look at it. I said from a parent's point of view. For a parent's point of view, I don't care nothing about adults. You do what you want to do as an adult. But when you have children, I don't know if you have children, but
in any educational program or activity receiving federal funding specifically. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead. You can read it off so we can both have a full understanding.
Title IX is a landmark 1972 federal civil rights law prohibiting sex-based discrimination in any educational program or activity receiving federal funding.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I based mine on was not discrimination. I said it's being pushed. It's being motivated for children to, if you feel like something, then maybe you are. And what I'm saying is, as a parent,
but Title IX cannot be pushed in that regard because Title IX wouldn't be a ideology or a book or a specific program or whatnot to push. It would literally be protecting individuals from sex-based discrimination, particularly when it comes to the federal government and anything that it funds. This is what we use to protect women, men, so on and so forth, to make sure education is not gender biased or gender discriminatory, sex discriminatory. Title IX would also equally apply to individuals of the transgender community because they would qualify under the sex-based portion of Title IX enforced.
I understood that.
Despite all of that, this still wouldn't apply to any course or curriculum in public schools because public schools do not teach you how to be trans. Public schools may talk about how individuals are trans and get into what that looks like at a certain age, but it's all age appropriate, with other classes in many states being elective.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Would you like to look into Virginia since you're sitting at the computer and see what their viewpoint is on it?
By all means. Would you like to give me something specific that's happening in Virginia?
Parents that, okay, as a parent, like I said it before, my child goes to school, but as a parent, if my child comes home, tells them, I feel like I'm this, that, and the other, they don't have to notify the parent. And I feel like parents should always be involved in any decision making based on a child. See, I told you, as I said before, I don't care what you do as an adult. So the civil rights movement really didn't apply to what I said. What I was talking about was children. I'm not talking about adults.
It did, actually, but okay.
It applied to children?
It applies to everyone whose civil rights were threatened. Children would be included in that. Do children not have civil rights?
When does it, if the children have more rights than the parents, isn't that a problem?
The children do not have more rights than the parents in any
So
state.
the parents are being the decision making of their own child, is what I'm trying to get you to
understand at a certain point that a child would have some form of autonomy. And then the law 18. That you would be specifically referencing, I know of it in California. I'm looking up it in Virginia, but the law you're specifically referencing is when they're not automatically notified to tell the parents, especially parents who may be homophobic, transphobic, so on and so forth, because that would be a risk to the child.
Okay, so let me say
it would have to be a threat to the child for that to fall through.
Most parents are not homophobic. They just want to know what's going on in their life.
May I ask, what exactly is it that he's arguing here? Because in the state of Virginia is has its own mandate regarding its interpretation of Title IX. But in the state of Virginia, they also follow basically biological sex. Even though there were some school districts that were allowing children to use the bathroom and locker rooms based off of their gender identity throughout the state of within. Okay, so what is it that you're arguing? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I'm not arguing anything. What he said was, why do I support Trump? So based on why, I'm giving you the reasons why because I live in Fairfax and I'm close to Loudoun County. So you ask me, why do I support Trump? I'm telling you because what he stands for the children. When you become 18,
Well,
once
you
again,
haven't been able to
18,
articulate the threat to children.
Yeah.
From
What
what I
is
was
the
able to
like what's
find
the
here,
issue?
and this passed in
I
2020,
didn't
this
say
is
it
the
was I
Virginia
didn't say it was a
Values
threat.
Act. All this
Well,
did, it
they
amended your Human
Let them
Rights Act
finish.
in and of itself to prohibit discrimination based off of sexual orientation, gender identity, and veteran status. So what is your issue with this?
we talking about children. Once again, I don't care about adults
Yes.
on no
Do you want
level.
children to be discriminated
I want
against?
children to be safe, is what I'm trying. That's my argument. That the children
So
should be safe. The
okay.
children
So
and the parents should be involved in any decision making.
but Mr.
When you,
Antonio, they
yes,
already are
ma'am.
though. In the state of Virginia, all right, no school, like a child in regards to the pronouns, their preferred pronouns, they can't go by their preferred pronouns without the parents knowing. So like if it's a someone where we would say we would look at them and say, oh, they go by he, him, but at school they prefer to go by she, her. They can't just go by she, her at school without the parents being notified. Virginia actually has a mandate about this.
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware
So,
that.
so they have that. So what it is that I'm trying to understand, sir, is I'm trying to understand exactly what is your point of contention here, because the state of Virginia seems to already have it taken care of. All right, and even the school districts that have went against the Title IX, the redefining of Title IX that Trump
Yeah.
put into place in 2025, Virginia has deemed them as high risk. So with that being said, like you said, you have children that are in school. What is your concern? Are you thinking that your children are gonna be like go into what is your concern? Really, I don't want to make up any crazy thing. What is it?
No.
Articulate it to us, please.
It's just not my children. It's all children. I care about kids, period.
I get it, but what
I
is your
come from a
concern, sir?
my
Express that to
my
us.
concern is that you are quoting something before Miss Abigail Spanberger got in office. Glenn Youngkin was
She
in
didn't.
office
She
and he
didn't.
supported
No,
what
she
Trump
didn't
said.
change anything in regards to
I didn't say she
school.
changed it yet. You getting ahead of me. What I'm saying is
Even though
she's
what you're
talking about
referencing,
she's
that
gonna
hasn't. That's been on the books long before she even got into office. And I just double checked it here. What Erica said was correct. And then the emergency instances, schools, and now heavily depends on districts as well, may not be required to disclose what pronouns a kid may go by if A, the child is over the age of 18 and be considered a legal adult, in which case it would be literally none of your business whether they live in
That's
your
what I
house or
just
not,
said, over
or
18.
B, if informing the parent would pose a safety risk to the child, which means if the child comes to school and says, I go by this and I like to wear this and I speak like this, but then my dad beats me when I do and says that I'm this and I was born this way, that child or that parent being informed of that child's gender identity will pose a safety risk for them. And for the safety of that kid, whether you agree with that or not, is in jeopardy. And that teacher has a responsibility, protected by law, not to inform the parent of something that will make them lash out on the kid.
Understand that, but why did you have to say that the parent had to beat the child? At first, I said that the
That
parent
would be
loved their
one
children.
example. To be fair, that's an
I said-
aggressive one. There are other ways you can harm a child in that regard. It doesn't even have to be physical. Have you not heard of the horrible instances of kids that were locked in their rooms, not allowed to go anywhere, starved, so on and so forth, because they identified as something other than what the parent preferred?
So I just said to you that my concern is for all children. Then you're gonna turn around and try to make it seem like I don't care about children. I just told you.
The instances of children that you're talking about would be children that would identify as other than something that their parents would want, and how that poses a risk to them. That's your whole complaint, that a school is not allowed to tell you what your child identifies as. And I'm telling you the reason as to why that exists. I don't see why anyone would have an issue with that.
I did not say that anyone would have an issue with it.
You do.
You just took no. I did not say that. What I said was children and parents need to come together. I mean, the teachers and the parents and the child need to come together and work it out. No one should be keeping information from a parent. I didn't say anything about somebody beating a child. You didn't. I don't even touch my children.
I don't think that you're hearing what Hector is saying,
No,
Antonio.
I'm hearing what
He
he's
was
saying,
giving
but it's
you
the,
he was giving you an example, and you're
he
making
gave
it
me an
personal
example that
towards you. But
no,
you're
no, no.
making it personal towards you because he was speaking in regards to the pronouns, a child's preferred pronouns, and that the only way in the state of Virginia, all right, that, and Hector, correct me if it was in a state or in certain school districts, but the only way that they would not disclose, please let me finish, sir, because hopefully that, like, if you're listening to me, you'll be able to understand what it is that was trying to be conveyed to you. So the only time that they would not advise a parent of what their child's preferred pronouns are is if it would put the child in danger. And Hector gave the example of a child being physically abused at home. That was no slight towards you. That was simply just an example of why an administrator or a teacher would not advise the parent of said preferred pronouns. Tis it, tis all. There's nothing more to it. Please stop making everything personal.
I don't make anything personal because y'all don't know me.
You just did, though.
No, no, no. I was
You
just
did.
saying
You
I
talked
don't beat
about you
my
and your
children.
kids, and it's not
Right.
about
No,
you
no,
and
no.
your
I didn't make
kids.
it personal. You just took it like I said it personal. What I said was in the beginning of this, I said I care about all
Hector,
children.
if you give me an example of someone beating their kid, and I say, well, I don't beat my kid,
No,
is
no,
that
no.
not me
I
taking it
said
personal?
Yeah.
You're not gonna light my gas. I know that much. That's
I
wicked.
know, but what you just did was took a part of what I said and you ignored the first part of what I said. I said I care about all children. All children.
What was
And all
what
children
is the
ain't mine.
purpose of you bringing up how you care about all children when this instance specifically would only apply to children who do not identify as the sex that they were assigned at birth? That was
Because
your whole issue.
We was talking about the state of Virginia, specifically Fairfax and Loudoun County. And I was speaking on district when the lady told me she was speaking. I know you're speaking. I'm very respectful. But I was just saying, in these two counties, because I live in Virginia, I know what's happening in Virginia. I just said I don't know if Abigail Spanberger is going to roll it back. I told you under Mr. Trump's the bill he passed, that Mr. Glenn Youngkin followed it. I don't know what Abigail Spanberger is going to do.
This is why I'm bald at 28. Okay, let's try this again. Your whole argument was you don't think it's okay that parents aren't notified of identification, gender identifications, gender identity that would differ from what the parents would want at school.
But we don't know what the
You
parents
don't
want.
agree that you don't agree with parents not being notified of these changes, okay?
Yeah.
The only instance which Erica and I have been trying to get across to you for some time, the only instance where that would be a thing is if that child's safety and mental health would be at risk. If your child's safety and mental health isn't at risk, you'll be notified of literally everything, just like every other kid. That law was just a provision to protect trans kids, to protect non-binary kids. That's the only kids it would have to apply to. Better yet, has it ever occurred to you that if a child is that scared and fearful that their parent would mistreat them or do whatever, if they told their parent who they were, the things that they were feeling, that's an issue on the parent and not the teacher that would be protecting them in that instance?
Absolutely, I get that. But can I give you an example of something that happened in Loudoun County? You actually can look it up to see it if it actually happened.
Sure.
Okay, one example, Loudoun County. A boy identified as a transgender went into the bathroom and raped a young lady.
A trans person.
Can I finish? May I? Okay, they actually put the kid out of that particular school, sent him to another school where he did the same thing. Loudoun County.
I think I know the story, but I'm going to double check it.
And all I'm saying is children on both sides are affected. I'm not, you act like I'm discriminating against the children. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying safety should be first on all sides. And you asked me, why did I vote for Trump? I voted because I want the protection for the children. Once you become 18, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care. And they arrested the father on the first one. When the first girl got raped, they arrested the father because he went to the teachers meeting or whatever, and he kirked out, justifiably so.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Which I'm double checking this now. Well, let's say
and I'm gonna follow you because I actually like the program. It's not all over the place.
Let's say this individual was trans. What's to stop this person from going into any bathroom at any time and sexually assaulting a girl?
A woman or a girl? Because I don't even know this. I don't know the age because they was both underage.
They were teenagers from what I'm reading so far.
Well, it's nothing to stop him. That's why he did it again. But what I'm saying is children on both sides were affected.
There's nothing to stop anyone from going into any bathroom and assaulting people. We don't have armed guards.
I understand that. I get
that. Never
that.
have.
I actually get
this
that.
Is
well,
the
they actually was trying to put
individual. Their gender identity is irrelevant.
I know, but they was actually trying to put guards in the schools, and I don't know if they shot it down yet or not. It might still be in process, but
guards in schools in regards to shootings, metal detectors, searching bags,
just the safety for the children.
That has nothing to do with bathroom policing.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is,
are you saying that the schools out there in Virginia don't have a school resource officer? Is that what you're saying?
That's what they're working on trying to get.
That doesn't make any sense, whatever, because I went to elementary through high school in the state of Virginia. And in each city that I went to school in, there was also a resource officer. So are you saying that in this Loudoun County that you are referencing and Fairfax, all right, are you saying that they aren't, what county is it then?
I'm not sure the county. What I said is they was trying to
get—
What
city is it?
Well, I'm assuming it's Fairfax because I live in Fairfax and I'm close to Loudoun County. But what I'm telling you is that right now they're trying to get resource officers, extra 15 resource officers to be in the schools, but it's being rejected by this administration.
So they're trying to get more. They're not trying to actually get them in place. They want more. Is what you're saying.
They need more for the safety issues.
Okay, all right. That's why I'm saying that, like, sir, you're literally, but no, my problem with you so far, Antonio, all right, because I don't have the patience that Hector has. My problem with you, sir, is that you're up here being a bigot, is what you're doing, all right, because you give an example of a boy, all right, committing a sexual assault against a girl, is what you gave, all right. That's what you gave. And it does not matter, all right, the person's gender identity, because it could happen. It can happen, all right, at any time, all right? It does not matter the gender identity.
That's what
okay, Hector Antonio, yeah, that's what Hector said, and you're arguing against it. And then you go on to say that these schools, all right, they're trying to get, what did you say? You said security or something in that place? I'm quoting what you said. You said that they're trying to get security in that place, is what you said. But here's the thing. No, you weren't sure about what it was that they were trying to do. All right. Yes. But what you failed to mention was that they already have school resource officers.
No, you mentioned it. I didn't fail to mention it.
I said what you failed to mention is that they already have school resource officers. What is a school resource officer, Antonio?
I found the case, by the way. But go ahead.
You just said that they had...
Sir, what is a school resource officer? Please answer my question. I already said that I don't have the patience of Hector. What is a school resource officer?
Oh, my Jesus. Well, like I said, I followed you, Hector.
A school resource officer is actually an armed police officer who works directly in the school. That's what a school resource officer is. So they already have those in schools. You up here just being a bigot.
What was my statement, though? What was my statement? Don't tell me what I tried to say, because that's why you here to. It's almost like you here to cause chaos.
I'm not here to cause chaos. All right. No, I'm not here to cause chaos. I'm here to call out the bullshit that you keep saying because you're full of malarkey, is what it is.
Asking you
and you're being harmful.
Based off of what you related on the panel. We can only work with what you're giving us. And then you can't seem to be very solid on that.
When I was talking, she chimed in and said they already have resource officers. So it's no need for me to even repeat that. I don't see the point in repeating what she said if she's correct. All I said was
You are
something about,
lying two halves. I asked you the
man,
question of if they have a school
you did
resource
not say that.
officer. I did.
She
Okay,
did.
so what I said was
I did
50.
ask you. I did.
You said I went
Because
to
you were
school.
sitting up
You
here
said,
implying,
man,
you were sitting here implying that these schools don't have any type of
they are.
security, and that's a lie.
That's not what
This
I
is
said.
streamed on YouTube, by the way.
I know, but that's not what I said. What I asked, what I was saying was what I was saying. And then you said, well, I went to Virginia schools, and from what I could recollect, they had resource officers. And I said, well, I'm not sure because it's on the table
God
right
bless
now.
you.
But they talking about either adding 15 more or they wanted 15 more. And or something like that. I'm not sure where it's at right now as far as is they gonna pass the bill to add it because of the funding or something. But what I was just you said, and because you said they already had resource officers, it was no need for me to repeat that if you're correct.
Okay, so first and foremost, whether
He
you
didn't say none of
add
that.
15 or
This nigga
30
here.
more may or
I
may
went to
not
school
have.
in
This is
DC. You
extremely.
don't
This
think
is
they had
this is
resource
very
officers in
loose. This is
DC?
very loose. This may have impacted the sexual assault, but we have a bigger issue in this case, which I've been reading up here this whole time. We have a bigger issue than resource officers, which, to be fair, resource. What's the word I'm
I
looking
heard
for?
you. I understand what you
Thing
said.
officers. So first and
You got
foremost,
it right. It's resource officers.
okay, thank you. Some of them, yeah, maybe they may do periodic checks of bathrooms, but that's not even something specifically that they're doing. They would have to hear something or be aware of something taking place to go specifically into a bathroom and get someone. And if you're dragging someone to a stall and taking them against their will, the only way that's a resource officer may not always be able to stop that. First
No, I
thing.
get that.
Second thing,
You
I'm not
stop
saying
all-
that they're bad, but I'm saying that still wouldn't even necessarily impact what we're talking about. So it's almost moot. Second thing, going over this case, there's several problems with this, and this is what I want to point out here. This has nothing to do with the gender identity of the transgender student. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
First and foremost, May 8th, 2021, this is when this incident took place. Somehow, some way, according to the lawsuit, because the parents are suing the school board now for $30 million, and I actually hope they fucking win. He was then transferred to another school. On October 6th, another incident took place. And then when this incident took place, that's when they opened up a full-blown investigation. That's where they were found criminally responsible for 2 counts of sodomy. There was an issue where they went to the school counselor to talk about it. And allegedly, the school counselor said, don't report it, or was like lackluster about it. Like, this is extremely problematic. Every fucking person here failed this child. Every single one. All of these people should be fired if what's being said is true. But this is not a transgender issue.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said. That was not ever my point. My point was, to me, I'm just one
I'm
person.
not tripping over. We're not talking this whole time about transgender people and protecting children.
That's what I
You
said.
about to light your gas, Hector.
That's
I'm gonna
what
be
I
quiet.
said. That's exactly what I said. To protect children. I don't care. I told you before. I don't care if you're transgender. As long as you're over 18, you do what you want to do. But as far as what they promoting or what they talking about promoting in the schools in Virginia is my issue.
Again, we went over what you specifically cited is your issue, which was an amendment to Virginia civil rights law to ensure the protection of transgender individuals who are at harm from the people that they stay with, their parents or legal guardians.
Can't hear if you're talking. Be quiet,
Do
please,
you
sir.
have an issue with the Virginia amendment via Title IX to protect trans children from discrimination and abuse towards their own parents?
Own parents or just anybody? Because I thought
The parents or legal guardians that the law would say the teacher does not have to report to them when it comes to their identity.
Okay, so once again, all I said was you asked why I supported Trump, and that is why. That's it in a nutshell.
So you support Trump because you don't like the protection for trans youth?
No, I support Trump because I wanted parents to be notified. Now, you read it from the page, but we were supposed to be notified as parents of the things that was going on. And I gave you a case or I gave you a situation because I don't actually know the case. I haven't even followed it.
I just looked up the case, which was irrelevant
know
for the
you
first point.
did.
But we
I
went down that rabbit hole, and as I reiterated, that has nothing to do with trans youth and trans youth being a threat to cis youth. This case was gross failures from adults in this situation in response to a sexual assault that took place, with the only relation to transgender people being that the kid identified allegedly as trans. Do I need to go over the plethora of men, boys specifically, I should say, boys who assault the fuck out of girl children the exact same way to significantly more amounts, and they get the exact same treatment? Failures of the parents to protect the youth when it's brought up to them. Girls reporting their assault and not being listened to, not being heard, being discounted. This is an identity issue. This is just a problem overall with parents failing children. I'm not going to allow you to put this on trans people. Back to your original fucking points. I do not see why you could possibly, or anyone could possibly, have an issue with teachers being allowed not to tell parents of a child's gender identity and leanings, because that could threaten their lives. That can threaten their livelihood, their safety, their mental health. Do you want trans youth to be threatened in all of those ways by telling an aggressive, abusive parent about where they lean?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, because I ain't never met no aggressive parent. Most parents love their children unconditionally.
Oh, you've never met an aggressive parent. You've never met an aggressive parent. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go and say this. Your anecdotal experience of the amazing parents that you know in your life, or at least what they tell them, you're privileged, you're lucky, congratulations. I was beaten with a fucking crowbar as a kid, my guy. So let's not do that.
Let me ask you something. How old are you?
Why do we
28.
have child protective services?
You said, hold on, wait a minute. You said 28?
Yes.
Okay, I'm 60. I had my ass whipped with everything.
Yeah, that's called abuse.
Everything. Well, y'all call it abuse now. They called it correction back in my time.
We call it abuse too. It was called abuse back then too.
No. I mean, you can say what you want to say because you entitled. It's a free country. But I'm telling you, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, my first one was with.
Oh, you mean the 80s when I grew up? That's what you mean? In the 80s, it was still called abuse.
I got whipped all them times.
It was still called abuse.
From the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. That because I was a little problem child. But at the time, it was justified. I did do things. I ain't act like I ain't do nothing.
It's never justified to beat your child.
Oh my gracious. Well, I don't, like I told you, I don't do mine, but yeah.
Y'all don't understand the difference between disciplining your child and abuse. Like, you are,
Hold on. You say you grew up in Virginia, right?
Yep.
Would you say Virginia and DC are different?
Virginia and DC are different?
I'm asking a question. Yeah.
They would be. They would be different. But here's the thing: they're different, maybe culturally. They may be different culturally, but the law is the law, and it's abuse.
Okay. So you say culturally they different, right?
That's like asking, are apples and oranges different? Yeah, they're different, but they still fruit.
So I feel, I'll put it like this. I feel comfortable going almost anywhere in Virginia, except for certain parts of Richmond and Norfolk. You can go to DC in the 80s, and I bet you wouldn't have felt comfortable nowhere.
I'm pretty sure I would have.
Okay.
Guys, we almost hit 200,000 likes within the hour. That's fucking amazing. I actually have no reason to bully y'all to tap the screen today. You're doing a great job. W's to the chat to y'all. Keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with your friends and family. Repost, add it to your story. Make sure you're knocking out the gift goal. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Send your daily heart meets. Please make sure you're taking care of my co-host while you're here. Do all the things. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna come back.
Was there a reason? Was there a reason why you were getting beat for 3 decades though? Like for 30 years of your life, your mom and dad was putting belt to ass.
I have questions.
For 30 years of your life. 30 years of your life.
God bless you.
Ma'am, I was bad. I was a bad.
You was a grown man still getting whooped by your parents.
I said I'm 60.
Yeah, you said I grew up in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. That's what you said. That's three decades.
But I was born in 66, right? So in the
You know what?
70s,
Your issue is, sir, is that you, for some reason or another, still got that slave mentality where you think that the belt, the
woo,
whip, all right, is the answer
woo,
to solving stuff. There's a way that you
woo.
instill discipline into
You
your
say
children,
slave
and you do
mentality.
not
That's
have
amazing.
to actually whip your children
That was
into
amazing.
submission. That is not something that you have to do.
It's
You
not
actually
whipping
can
your.
talk. You are whipping your child into darn going
I
submission.
feel
That's
like this is
exactly
a
what you're
load of
doing whenever you put a belt to ass. And he's full of poop, Hector. I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead,
I
Hector.
feel like this is a load of bullshit. We were talking about abuse of children, and you went to just spanking kids, which I disagree with. But at the end of the day, you can do what you do in your house until CPS catch your ass. In which case, you better hope you didn't leave any fucking marks, because yes, that is abuse. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you your child preferences. I disagree with it. Unfortunately, we don't have enough laws necessarily going against it. What I can say is that when CPS finds you abusing a child, they will take that damn child away and you can face charges. And that's what we would be talking about in this instance with
What Hector
transgender
just
youth.
said
And
is
even
true.
then, when we talk about
Nowadays,
abuse, it's more than just physical. So you just going to like whooping kids' ass was just unnecessary as fuck. Mind you, you started off all of this. Yes, Jeff, literally about to say that. You started off all of this talking about protecting children. And then you talked about with an almost smirk, my parents beat my ass. That's all I listened to, whatever the fuck. And you know what? I'm actually a little bit different from a good portion of the left. Y'all may hate me for this take, so be it. Some of y'all got kids that bad, in which case, I don't know. You may find that to be the only response. I would still fucking blame you, to where if you have a child to where that's the only thing they respond to, you royally fucked up at youth. And that's not on them. But I digress. That is not a them problem.
I do agree with you on that, Hector.
Of course you
Absolutely.
do.
See, my mom used to work, so I didn't have the guidance. My father wasn't around. So my story is different. That's why I say growing up in DC, a lot of times you get pulled into the street life. I was pulled into the street life early. So therefore, I was not really probably around people my age. Like I was around others.
Okay.
So
if you believe, if you choose to believe that you absolutely needed to get your ass beat, that's your business. By all means, I can't tell you what you needed. You think you needed to get your ass beat? Congratulations, nigga. I hope they made it as red as a fucking delicious apple. What I am going to tell you is that other children shouldn't have to endure that, especially not because of their gender identity, and a law that says you do not have to disclose this to a parent if they are a threat to said child, because teachers talk to their parents. They talk about what their parents say, what they think, how they treat them when they say this, say that, what their friends reinforce in them. And that is information that a teacher can use to determine if that kid will be safe or not. If they abuse that, you have a lawsuit on your hands. This fucking teacher didn't choose to tell me that my kid was doing this thing that could have led to their literal unaliving, and they tried to hide this under the guise of the kid being trans. You have a lawsuit on your fucking hands. That's not what's happening. What's happening is that trans kids are being protected. And whether you agree with them being trans or not, you said you protect children. That includes all children. Why at the fucking least you can't stand on that?
You talking about me, Hector?
Yeah, I was talking to you.
Say I protect all children. I did. I said that at the beginning.
You've been contradicting that this entire time you've been up here.
I got beat by my parents. I never said nothing about whipping no child. You twisted that too. I said me. I said because I chose to do certain things. No child wants to be beat. I could tell you that. My mother used to say, "Go get the switch," and I used to bring the switch to her crying. Don't hit me. Don't hit me, Mom. But it don't mean I ain't deserve it. So you kind of twisted that, man. That's not what I said. You took
when you teach a child that they deserve to be hit, when you teach a child that they deserve you hitting them, they grow up, all right, and in an abusive relationship, if that does happen, they think that they deserve to be hit by their partner.
Thank you, Nicole, for the
Do you not understand that?
I don't think that happens.
That's not what you do. It's not what you do. I didn't say every case. Jesus Christ, of Latter-day Saints.
I made you say that.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm dealing with stupid people, I say that.
It's okay. You can go ahead and shine all you need to shine, baby. Because you can't affect my flow. I get paid. Handle your business.
Do you like being a shitty person?
I love being me.
Yeah, I bet you do.
But y'all have a good
You
night.
do
I
not care
gotta go
about
work in a
children,
little
my
while.
guy. You came up here and you tried to gaslight this entire panel and myself
Say
about what you care
gaslight the
about.
whole
When what
panel.
you want,
Hey,
hey, what you want for
say have a good night.
transgender children
We'll talk next
threatens
Thursday.
the
We'll
safety
talk next
of
Thursday.
children. Not only them, but their
We'll talk
friends
next
who
Thursday.
may even be
I said we'll talk.
cis. Because some parents
God
even go
bless
as far
you.
as to lash out at the people around them who they deem as enablers of a destructive ideology. Everything you're complaining about and why you said you voted for
I'm not
Donald Trump
complaining. I won't do no
threatens
complaining. I support
children.
Trump.
It harms children.
I said I
You're not
support
being
Trump.
consistent. You still have yet to answer my question.
I said I had to go to sleep so I can go to work. So I
Cool.
said we'll
Before you
talk
take your
next
ass onto a
Saturday.
nap, can you answer my question, yes or no? Do you disagree with the protection in Virginia law that it goes alongside Title IX to some degree that would protect transgender youth from abuse from their parents based off their gender identity?
Yes, I agree with you. I told you that. I don't want no children hurt. I've been
You
said that.
keep walking it back. You keep challenging it.
No,
You
I
keep
don't
going
want
back
no
to I voted for
children
Trump
hurt.
because of that. You literally keep saying that.
No, what I said, I based all of that, what I said, on my child first. And then I said, I care about all children.
Do you have a daughter or a son?
I got both.
You have both. Would
I
you
got
let
2
your
boys
children
and a
meet
girl.
Donald Trump?
Bro, I just told you I had to go to sleep so I go to work. Are you not listening to me? And tell your
Get out, bro.
That's what he's a narc. He's a narc, Hector. He's a narcissist. That type of person right there, Hector, he was never going to leave the panel. You could have kept him up here for like another 2 hours. He was never going to leave.
I know I could have. I just.
Today is Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Debbie's in the chat to Brooke for the $2 cash app. No kid ever deserves that. I'm sorry that happened. Oh. Yeah, my stepdad was a piece of shit. Debbie's in the chat to Brooke once again for the $1 for Erica. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, Brooke. Debbie's in the chat to you.
Thank
Debbie's
you.
in the chat to you. Before we move on to the next guest, I'll quickly do this. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people we'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Trump supporters, do you regret your vote? If you are one of those individuals that do, request up in the box. We can give you, you can relay what reason do you have that may have made you second guess your support for Trump. And if you do stand on your vote for Donald Trump 2026 going on, you can request up as well. I can give you several reasons as to why you shouldn't. There's 620 people in here, not to mention the 100 over on the tube side. If you're not following me, hit that follow on the top left corner, or make sure you subscribe on the YouTube side. Send your daily heart music if you haven't already. Share out the live with your friends and family, repost, add it to your story. 6 more of these little horseshoe things in the gift goal. Knock that out so I can reset it. One of the ways you can support the stream. And of course, the best ways is to check out the links in the bio. Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Hector Talks with 2 R's on Cash App and Venmo, PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Make sure you hit the like button over there, subscribe, and turn on notification bells on your way in or your way out. I'll just say this. I don't understand why so many people believe that schools are sitting there having breakdown step-by-step lessons into how to be trans. If anything, and trans people will tell you this, there is little to there is no way, there's no education on being trans. Where so many kids and so many people don't even know what they are, how they identify until well into their adulthood because they weren't guided properly as a child. That led to them doing self-harm and neglect and all these other things. Public schools aren't doing this. Public schools are simply saying if you have a trans kid, they have a place here. They will be protected here. They will be safe here. And you guys here, they're teaching my kid how to want to grow a penis even though they were born with a vagina. That's not how the fuck that works. That's not how it will ever work. If you happen to have a kid that's leaning that way and believes themselves to be trans, are trans, guess what? Your kid's trans. The school will protect them more than you if you believe the shit that you believe. Jesus Christ, man. You guys are fucking weird. Oh, absolutely fucking weird. And then it's people with whole cis-ass kids complaining about this stuff. So I'm like, what is your problem? If your kid's not trans, you have nothing to worry about. And if they are, CPS damn near better take them from you. They have better chances with them than you. If that's how you're going to fucking treat them. I don't know. You let kids be kids until their kids think differently from you. Until their kids aren't subscribed to your Christian ideology. They don't make no damn sense. Your fucking friend's in their box. I'm not talking to him if I let him up.
I want to talk to him.
Man, I'm not doing this. In fact, where's that button?
Oh, damn. It's like that?
Just want to come up here and ramble. Wow. I don't give a shit. I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
What? Wow. And then he hasn't done the scratchy thing as of late, which is interesting. Do you have your phone lines on?
Yeah, I have him on. Literally
I
haven't
think they're all
gotten
celebrating.
a single call.
I think they're all outside celebrating St. Patty's Day since it falls on a Tuesday this year.
Oh, I was
They're getting
to ask if it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh,
They're getting drunk today.
I guess that's what it is. We don't have any sports that we know of, do we?
March Madness? I know the basketballs.
No.
March Madness, I believe.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
If it's this slow here, we're definitely not going to get much hunting. No, I'm not doing that today.
Oh, no. I can tell by Hector's mood that he has not had his ashwagandha. And nope. Won't get me. Hi, Palamone. Pal, are you a Trump supporter? Hi. Pal, going once.
Palamone, you there? I don't think they meant to request that.
Yeah. We were in their shoe.
No March Madness yet, just had selection show. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people we'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, the call-in number is open and on screen 737-295-5321. Rave Uncle said, is MAGA ever there? That's a good question. You know what's crazy? And this is something I've noticed for some time. I can go into other lives and I can hear, I guess, reasonable MAGA, if there is such a thing. I was watching Parker's live a good bit today. He had a grandson come up in the box with his granddad on the side, who was like talking, asking legitimate questions. It ended how it always ended with these people. But it was like, okay, somewhat of a legit conversation, somewhat more of a back and forth. I just keep getting a bunch of like racist, bigoted, numbskull trolls. I don't know what it is.
At some point, I wanted, because what I was trying to do before the first thing had happened, before you had to restart, I was trying to go over like the whole Russian oil thing, but it can wait. I have the information. Hi, Justin.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Happy to be talking to you guys.
We'll find out. You vote for Trump?
We'll find out. So it could quickly turn, huh?
Typically happens.
No, I have respect for everybody, regardless of their political opinions. But I like to hear what the other side has to say. I'm on the conservative side. I voted for Trump. I voted for the most conservative president that I think's been on the ballot since probably Ronald Reagan. And so, I support his policies, and I don't understand why liberals even, I don't understand where they come from in terms of their political views. It doesn't make sense to me rationally, but maybe I'm just a different style of thinker than some people nowadays.
You be thinking outside of the box.
Give me I
guess a liberal, I don't think it's outside of the box. But,
or left view that you don't understand.
I guess if you're going in alphabetical order, we could start with abortion. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I think
because you don't have a uterus. Oh, sorry, I'm a mute.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with talking about a topic of abortion, but a lot.
Yeah.
So because I don't have any direct involvement, so because I can't get an abortion, I shouldn't have an opinion about it.
You can have an opinion about anything.
Right. So why was I just told I couldn't?
Should individuals with said opinions be legislating laws on the demographic of people that could have babies? I would say no, but unfortunately,
So
the laws
only
don't reflect
females in
that.
Congress should be able to vote on abortion?
It's not what I said. You just completely ignored a large portion of what I said.
So what are you saying?
I said everyone can have an opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone can have an opinion on it in regards to your opinions that aren't substantiated by fact and science, and your opinions being allowed to regulate an entire demographic of people. That's where
It's
I
not
would draw
regulated.
the line. It literally would be
it's not
regulation.
regulating.
Are you unaware
The
of that?
federal
The
government
red
Do you mind if I just
protects
hop in for a
the
second?
rights of people.
Just, I think you forgot what you'd said, sir. No one said you couldn't have an opinion. Your statement was, I just don't understand. And then the response was, perhaps because you don't have a uterus. No one mentioned anything about being able to have an opinion or being able to vote on it or make law. No one said any of that. You said you don't understand, and someone gave a perspective as to why you might not understand. I think it's that you forgot maybe what you said.
Right. So I can't understand female biology because I don't have a uterus. Is that what you're saying?
You can understand female biology, but you might not understand female feelings.
No, I don't understand murder.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
understand
Hey, I'm still
murdering
speaking.
babies.
Hi, I'm still speaking.
you gotta let her
Could you
finish.
control yourself? Could you calm down? It's very scary. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, calm down. So you can understand female biology. That does not mean that you understand female feelings, right? Their feelings as to why they might feel as though it's something that that needs to be an option for us, right? So can you tell me that you can 100% understand how a woman feels?
I can understand that we should protect the life of an unborn baby. That's
Well, it's a
what
good
I
thing
believe.
that you understand that, since that's not what I asked you.
It has
That's
nothing
not
to
what
do
I
with the
asked
feelings
you.
of you.
Yeah, but that's not what I asked you.
Yeah, because
you
the
said
baby-
when on high, you said you don't understand, and the response
baby and
was,
you are
yeah,
two separate
I'm not
people.
sure why you keep speaking through me, right? I'm being cute right now. It doesn't have to stay that way. So what I'm going to ask you to do is have some respect, like a big boy. Okay, so it doesn't have to get ugly. Thank you. Great. You said you don't understand, right? As what you would understand, like people's perspectives on why they would have one. So that has to do, in addition to biology, that has to do with people's feelings as to why they might want one. You would never be able to understand that feeling, because you're not the person that would be carrying it. So I'm not saying you can't understand the biology, but no, you can't understand necessarily the feeling. Now it's your turn, like in the sandbox.
I got to be honest. I don't understand what you just said. My perspective is I don't understand abortion because I don't understand people that want to deny the right to another human being, their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which is granted in the Constitution. Why are we revoking the constitutional rights of the unborn? And why are we trying to act like the feelings of the mother have anything to do with the protection of this life? What does that have to do with the protection of this life?
Sure. Can you tell me where it is that the Constitution says that the unborn have some rights? I'm just wondering, because I kind of remember something about, like, I don't know, like, do you know kind of the part where it says who it's talking about there, the Constitution? Because what? the Constitution says nothing about unborn people. Right?
So
Unless you know something that we don't know, Justin.
Okay. So the main purpose of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is to secure life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We know this.
For who?
No matter how old
Yes,
or how
for who?
young they are, no matter, the Constitution protects the individual's right to life.
What's the language in the Constitution?
For who?
Who does it apply
It's
to?
in the
For who?
Constitution.
Yes, for who?
For those that can't protect themselves at the earliest stages of development. Thomas Jefferson.
What does it say that?
Okay, are you going to cut me off or you let me finish?
Because those
I'm
words
trying to
aren't in
finish
the
one
Constitution.
sentence.
My guy, those words aren't in the Constitution. If you'd like to give me a passage in the Constitution that cites that, please tell me which one of the 27 amendments don't.
Okay, I'm talking about the context of the Constitution.
So what? So the words
This
did not.
is
the
in the
words,
Declaration of Independence, but the Bill of Rights offers protections for people to not have their rights infringed upon, and their rights are infringed upon if they are murdered. Obviously, is murder legal?
Well, you'd have to first prove that it's murder, since you haven't done that yet. So
You
you'd
have
have
a
to
guess,
first
so you can
prove
wait a
that
second,
it's
Thomas.
that.
Yeah, well, Thomas Jefferson, who is one of the primary authors of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, said the care of human life and happiness and not their destruction is the first and only legitimate object of good government. He was the primary writer, and he made it very clear that it is a sacred life and that we should protect it, and that's in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
It does not say anything about that sacred life. It doesn't mention that at all.
I'm giving you historical context.
Hello. Yeah. So number one, you'd first have to prove that it's murder, because you haven't. But number two,
because
unaliving. Great. So if you are attempting to unalive me and I unalive you first, is it schmurder?
That's self-defense.
Wonderful. So what the problem here, since you're not catching on, is that you would have to establish that it's unjustified, because you're trying to say that unaliving and schmurder are synonymous, and they aren't. So you would have to first then prove that, I know, oh gosh, the actual legal system, that sucks. I know.
No, you just tried to give me a self-defense case and compare it to a baby in the womb.
Yes, because the whole point is I was trying to get you to see how, you are disgusting, I agree. But the reason that I did that, hello, could you control yourself?
Control yourself.
Okay. I am actually. You're the one that's speaking while I'm speaking. Hi, I'm controlled. You're the one acting like an infantile egomaniac currently. If you could control yourself and calm down, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So the issue is that you tried to make it seem as just unaliving is schmurder. So I gave you an example that was very easy to understand, that unaliving is not synonymous with schmurder. I gave you an example how just unaliving is not that. Right?
Okay.
So the point being that you would have to show that it's unjustified. Schmurder has a legal definition. It's unjustified unaliving, and you'd have to show that it's unjustified, which you haven't done. But the point here still also being that the Constitution doesn't say anything that you said. It doesn't say anything that you said. As a matter of fact, we are given an idea as to who is being referenced, and it's people that are already born. Does anyone here have the actual language for him of what it says?
Literally, it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States. This is going to be the 14th Amendment.
Yeah,
so all
it says
persons born.
It literally says the opposite of what you're saying. Are you okay? It says the opposite of what you're saying.
And even the courts haven't even applied any type of personhood to the unborn. So there's that part.
So what does the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness mean to you?
Well, according to the Constitution that you referenced, not us, by the way, it's for people who are born.
No, I'm asking you. I don't need you to give me some
sure.
some
I
weird
think it's that.
answer.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
give me your thoughts.
I'm not sure if you realize this. You're the one that brought up the Constitution, not me. You're the weird one. But anyway, in my opinion, it would be for it's for people. Yeah, it's for people. But it doesn't then, in my opinion, override other people's. For example, I don't know. Autonomy. So I'm sure they have the right to all of those things. Let's pretend they have the right to all of those things. What does that have to do with canceling out someone else's rights? Nothing.
Because that's a human life that's being murdered. It's being
eliminated.
It's not murder. It's not schmurder.
Adorna, sorry to interrupt. I don't want to make something clear. He keeps conflating both the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence only mentions life, liberty, and the right to property. It does not mention life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That would be the Declaration of Independence. And that is the one in which Thomas Jefferson actually wrote. So I just need you to make sure that you are familiar and sure of what it is that you're referencing. Okay, you got it? Okay,
I told you that's the context I'm giving you behind what the Bill of Rights and what the remaining text of the Constitution says.
The Bill of Rights doesn't have anything to do with the pursuit of happiness or anything of that nature, so it wouldn't make any sense for you to actually argue.
No, the Declaration of Independence gives us context as to what the Constitution and the federal government's priorities are. We know this.
I'm so sorry. How does the Declaration give context to what the Constitution wants? Which one came first?
So what the Declaration
Which
of Independence
one came first?
The
Exactly.
Declaration
So
of
how can the
Independence.
Declaration of Independence give context to the Constitution? That doesn't
Because
even
it
make
came
any
first.
sense, sir.
Because that was the origin of what
How
the
can
framers...
the document that came first provide context to the document that came second? That doesn't make any sense. It would be out of order. Also, additionally, sir, you just be arguing from a person. You don't have to call me an idiot. Wait, are you feeling threatened? What is happening
Because you
here?
are. You are.
Are you
You
feeling
just
threatened?
asked me what context means. Context means
I didn't ask
the
you what
same
context
people.
is. I said, how
Yes,
can it
you don't
provide
understand what
would
context
context?
need
means.
to answer
The
that
same
question
framers
because
that
the
wrote
way
the
He
you're
is such an
applying the
Constitution
idiot that
word
you
wrote
know
the
what?
context.
Declaration of
Listen, hold on.
Independence.
The same
I'm
person
still
that's
waiting
calling
for a
people
justifiable reason why
the
a baby
same
can be murdered
person.
in the womb.
Wonderful. It's not schmurder. The same person that's calling people idiots doesn't even remember the things that he is saying. He didn't. He didn't
Exactly.
understand. He didn't understand currently that Erica didn't say ask what context is. You can't even follow the conversation, you buffoon. And you're here calling someone an idiot? Are you kidding?
Why don't you believe in protecting the unborn? Why
Yes,
are you so?
sure,
why are
sure,
you
I
so
do.
disgusting?
Yeah,
You
sure,
believe
yeah.
in eliminating
Your
a
wife
human
is,
life.
yeah, your wife is disgusting. Yeah, that's why she's cheating on you currently, bitch. Great. Now,
Oh,
let's
wow.
continue
Okay.
with the actual conversation. Yes, if you want to get nasty, we can get nasty.
Nasty
Keep it
about
cute, and
what?
I will. Well, you're nasty. Your wife's pH is nasty. That's what's nasty. Keep it cute.
How do you know I'm married?
Great. You want to know what? Someone like you is probably married to someone self-hating.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's actually possible. Yes.
I love
So
doing
the
this.
problem here,
So I'm the one that believes in not murdering
it's
murdering
not
babies.
schmurder. You haven't proven yet that it's schmurder. You
It's
haven't proven
absolutely
yet that
murder.
it's schmurder. No,
It's
you
a
would have to
human
prove
life.
that it's unjustified. You would have
It's
to
a
prove
human
that
life, and you
wonderful.
support
Hold on. So is the
butchering a
person
human
that's
life.
trying to
It's
unalive you. That's
disgusting.
also yes, you are disgusting. So is
You
the
are
life that's of the
disgusting.
person.
You are
Yes, you
just
are
fucking
disgusting. You are
murdering a
disgusting.
human
All
life.
right.
Can you?
Hey,
Yes, your schmegma is disgusting.
y'all, come on.
Try pulling back the skin and wash it.
Heard way
You
more
brought up
arguments
the
against abortion than this one.
Constitution.
Hold on.
I just want to let y'all know, not y'all, you brought up the Constitution, and you quickly skedaddled away from the Constitution the second you realized that you were dead wrong. You're crying about the context that the Declaration of Independence would have added the document that came a couple years after the fact. You can make a correlation between the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. You cannot use the Declaration of Independence to say that is the context for unborn people for the document that came years afterwards that specifically stated the rights that you're crying about would apply to people born and naturalized. So that's your concession with the Constitution. You may make a new argument. Don't reference the Constitution again. You'd be dead wrong.
So you don't like that one?
No, it's not that I don't like it. You can't substantiate through the Constitution how your beliefs hold any weight.
So what does the Declaration of Independence mean to you?
Norm.
What's the purpose?
You called while I have a guest, so hold. This is what I'm gonna do. Every time you guys keep fucking calling while I literally have a guest up, you can be on hold until you hang the fuck up. Jesus Christ. What?
What does the Declaration of Independence mean to you then?
It doesn't matter what the Declaration of Independence means to me. Why are we sitting here arguing opinions,
it
my
is
guy?
the context that precludes
Again, not the context in your specific argument to the rights of the unborn, because that context would align with what the Constitution said on unborn rights. Neither the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution, which is supposed to be contextually supporting each other, reference the rights of the quote-unquote unborn, based off the actual wording of both those documents that have nothing to do with what you're inserting into it. They don't apply to the unborn.
Okay. So my question is, because I guess I have no understanding of what this actually means. My question is, when Thomas Jefferson wrote, who was a primary author of the Declaration of Independence, he said, "The care of human life and happiness and not their destruction is the first and only legitimate object of good government." Why was that something that was written as part of the debates in the Declaration of Independence and then preempted the Constitution and the laws and the Bill of Rights that came after that? Why was that written in there?
The why is irrelevant. How does it apply to the unborn?
Because obviously it doesn't matter what stage of development a human being is in.
So can you give me the context? Can you give me the context of that per the Declaration of Independence and Benjamin Franklin and the rest of them? Give me the context. Do you have another document that they wrote in regards to abortion? Do you have another document that they wrote in regards to women's choices with coat hangers at the time? Can you give me more?
No, I'm telling you that it's unclear when the origin of life happened, which it's very clear now. Scientifically, we know. If any of you have actually seen a sonogram of a baby at 8 weeks, you can see that it has all the properties of a human life. It has
and
all
it
the
can't
properties
survive
of a human.
outside of the womb. So
And
you still
neither
haven't
can a
proven.
1-year-old.
You haven't proven I'm so sorry. Did you just say a
What'd you say?
1-year-old can't survive
What?
outside of the womb?
Correct. Can you leave a
one- a
1-year-old
one-year-old-
outside of the parent's care and it survive?
He has the nerve to call anyone else an idiot.
Wow.
He has the nerve
This
Are
to
you
call
is
kidding
anyone
me
else.
right now?
crazy.
You think a 1-year-old can
stupid.
survive? You think a 1-year-old can survive without its mother?
Outside of the care of his parents, yes, it can
You're
because
not
they're
a
called
mother.
guardians.
I guarantee you're not a mother. Guaranteed.
Okay, would you like for me to call the
can promise you you don't
12-year-old?
have children.
Quick question.
Thank
Can
God
Like
you
me to
don't.
call the 12-year-old?
Yeah, sure.
Like,
Can
shut the fuck up.
yeah, can a 1-year-old be adopted by someone that's not its mother?
Yeah. Did adoption occur?
Yeah. So then it can live outside of the womb, right? Yeah. What's being stated? What's being stated? Yeah, sure. What's being stated? What's being stated? What's being stated? Yeah, lovely. What's being stated is that the 8-week-old fetus
You hate me
cannot
because I'm
survive
proving you're wrong.
because you haven't proven anything. I'm not even sure how you passed the 3rd grade.
You
right?
just
so
told
the
me
fact
that
the fact
they're
of the
not
matter
viable.
is, hey, they aren't. An 8-week-old fetus is not viable outside of the womb.
And a
Can you tell us?
1-year-old
Can
is
you
not
tell us?
viable
It's not
outside of the womb.
It's not viable.
Yes,
What
a
does viable
1-year-old.
mean? Hold on.
Have you had a-
What does it mean? What does viable mean?
Can it survive?
Yes. Can it homeostasis?
Oh, it can. So it can.
Yes, it can
get
survive.
its own food. It can survive.
Hello.
Are you kidding me?
Quick question.
You're
Okay,
too
hold
dumb
on.
to
Let's
have
say
this argument.
Let's say someone
You're too
else
dumb
gives.
to have this
Let's say
argument.
someone else gives the
This is
8-week-old fetus.
hilarious.
Hey, let's say someone else gives the
You
8-week-old
are
fetus
so dumb.
outside. Stop it. Act like an adult.
I'm sorry, but
Let's
you're an
say,
idiot.
shut up.
You're an
Let's
idiot.
say, yeah, you're an idiot. Let's say
No,
someone gives the 8-week fetus food outside of the womb. Will it survive? The 8-week fetus, it's outside of the womb now. Someone gives it food. Will it survive? Dum-dum, will it survive? Buffoon, we're waiting. Will it survive? Yes. 8 weeks.
Yes,
8-week
of course
fetus.
it will survive.
An
Yes.
8-week fetus will survive outside of the womb if someone gives it food. I'm not even sure why we're speaking to this fool. An 8-week fetus?
No, it will not.
Wonderful. That's the distinction. You dodo bird. That is the distinction. Yes, a 1-year-old can survive outside of the womb. An 8-week fetus cannot survive outside of the womb. That's what was stated, and you are so ridiculous that you can't understand the difference in those two things.
God bless you.
So what is
Jesus
your
Christ.
argument? That because it's not viable, because it can't eat food, it's not a human life, and it should not be protected. That's your argument.
Did anyone say that? Did someone
What is
say
your
it's not
argument?
a human life? Hold on, can you say which one of the three of us said it's not a human life? Can you name the person? The names are on our screens. Can you say who said it's not a human life?
Right. So if it's human, then why doesn't it deserve the protections of the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness?
Sure, all of those protections, but those protections don't cancel out other people's rights. That's the point. Can you tell me
Whose
why
rights?
Can you tell me why it cancels out the pre-existing the person who's carrying their pre-existing bodily autonomy? Why does it cancel?
It's two separate people.
Yeah, precisely. So why does it get the right to utilize the other person? If you get into a car accident currently, right? You're a person, you have the right to life. Do you get to be hooked up to someone else indefinitely without their consent so that you can survive? Yes or no? You have the right to life.
If I have a 3-month-old and she requires me to
I didn't
be able
ask
to
you that.
breastfeed and
Hey,
feed and
I
survive,
know
can I kill her?
yes, I know.
Why can't
Really
I kill
quickly,
her?
Devin's in the chat to
know-
Melanie for the $5 Venmo. How bitter was
God bless
Justin's
you.
divorce, and how much did his ex take? Great question. Devin's in the chat to
Yeah,
you, Melanie.
it's such a
Thank you so much
polarizing
for the
debate, but
dono.
you don't have
Guys, you
to-
see the thing above you, and it's gonna be split between these two individuals. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Go ahead, Adorna.
Yeah, he doesn't know
Yeah,
what he's
so
talking
yes,
about.
not
I'm
at
trying
all.
to I'm
Not at
trying
all.
to protect
Yes,
the
so
lives.
yes, can you answer
of
the question that I
unborn.
asked? My homie Jeff always says you're answering the question that someone like in Minnesota asked. I'm not in Minnesota. Can you answer the question that I asked, please? If you get into a car accident right now, you're alive, right? You're a human being. You have the right to life according to the Constitution, right? Can you be connected to someone else so that they can sustain your life without their consent?
Now his mute button don't work.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah, because I keep getting muted.
Say yes or
So
no.
you're telling me if I need to go and
Sounds
be
like
hooked
a
up to
question.
somebody-
I'm asking you to answer the question that I just asked you.
Yes. Do you not understand how biology works?
I didn't ask you, can you?
You
Right?
understand there's an origin of a human being,
lovely,
right?
lovely. So
What
great.
does that
So
have
you
to do with a
think,
car wreck?
great. So
What are
you
you
think,
talking about?
great. So you think that you, because you're alive,
Great.
because you're a human being, because the Constitution says you have the right to life, that you can just go and be hooked up to someone else without their consent indefinitely? Is this what you think?
Yeah.
Yes?
So the stage of fetal development when a baby
I didn't
is
ask you about.
potentially
I
able
didn't
to live
ask
outside
you.
the
I
mother's
didn't ask you
womb
about fetal
is
development.
called
I didn't ask you about fetal
viability,
development.
right?
I know following is
Viability
hard.
is constantly changing. Technology,
I know.
knowledge,
You're not able to.
neonatal intensive
Hey,
care units,
hey,
doctors,
infantile
it all
egomaniac.
changes.
Hi,
Yeah.
infantile egomaniac. Can you follow a conversation? Can you follow like sentences? I didn't ask you about that. I asked about you. Is this something you have the right to life? You're a human. Can you do that?
Of course
Because
not.
according
That's
to
ridiculous.
you, it is ridiculous, dum-dum. Because according to you, that's all that's necessary. You just got to be alive. You just got to have the right to life, according to the Constitution, and you can be
Okay.
hooked up to someone else
So
to sustain
let
your
me-
life. That's
let-
according to
let-
you.
Let me give you an education here about the
Yes,
context of
educate me.
abortion.
Educate
Yeah, I will.
me.
So when the Supreme Court was doing their deliberation, they were having debates in 1973. A case was brought up, which was in 1985. It was in Fort Lauderdale. There was a baby, Kenya Renee King. She was born prematurely. She was 4.5 months. She weighed 18 ounces. After birth, her weight dropped to 13 ounces. But by the time she left the hospital, she weighed 5 pounds. She was viable. So viability is an arbitrary term. That's what we've learned. That's what Roe v. Wade literally said. And so your argument that, oh, she's not viable. Well,
Are you
it's stupid
okay?
because a 1-year-old's not viable because they can't survive without their mother.
That's not
That's
what
the
viable
process
is.
of human life.
Yeah.
You don't understand
No.
biology and you don't
Yeah.
understand human life and you want to murder them. You want to butcher them.
Really?
You
I don't
wanna just
understand
suck them out.
biology.
You
Can you
wanna
tell me what a
take them
marula
out with-
is? Sure. Can you tell me what a marula is? I don't understand biology. What's a marula?
Can you tell me
What's
how many
a marula? Hey, what's
Yeah,
a marula?
tell me how many
I don't understand.
chromosomes
Hey,
are-
marula.
tell me how many
What
chromosomes are met
marula?
between-
Hey, marula. What's a marula?
Hey,
You don't
yeah, I
know?
can talk-
You
I
don't
can
know what a
talk really
marula
fast
is?
too.
Oh,
Yeah, just
I
because
know.
you
So
talk
you don't
fast
know.
doesn't mean that you're.
No, I don't talk fast. You listen slow, dum-dum. I don't talk fast. You listen slow. Keep up. Okay?
I
Great.
schooled you.
I know.
That's your problem. I
Listen,
schooled you.
As a matter of fact, you need to go get a refund. You need to get a refund for your degree, wherever it came from. That's how much I think
So what
of
do
your
you think
schooling.
about Kenya Renee King?
What I think is that viability. Can you tell us when viability starts? At what?
Why do you
how
think
many
Kenya
weeks?
Renee
First thing
King
How many weeks?
shouldn't have lived?
How
Why do
many
you think
weeks
she shouldn't have
viability?
lived?
How many
How
weeks
many
is
weeks
it?
viability?
I'm
How
asking
many
you to
weeks is
answer me.
viability? How many weeks is
Why
viability?
should Kenya Renee King have been
I
murdered?
would like to
Why?
shush Justin up for a moment. Justin, you're absolutely incorrect. All right. Roe v. Wade states absolutely nothing about viability. All right. Viability means when the child can survive outside of the womb. All right. The child cannot survive prior to, it's approximately 22 to 24 weeks without its mother. Okay. Without the host, without the womb. It cannot survive outside of the womb. Okay. 'Tis it, 'tis all. This is science. All right. Roe v. Wade did not state anything about viability. If you make
You're
that
wrong.
claim again,
You're
if you make that
100%
claim
wrong.
again, then what is going to happen here, Justin? And I'm
Nope,
so
you're
upset that I have to
100% wrong.
scream. Is simply the fact that you're going to have to provide us the passage from the case that states the part about viability.
Yes,
Go
during
get
the
it.
debates.
Also,
during-
Hector, I got my 25.
During the debates, the stage of fetal development when a baby is potentially
Shut up.
able.
It does not even say that.
Let me quote, potentially, I'm reading the text of the Supreme Court case. I have it pulled up. Potentially able to live outside the mother's womb, albeit with artificial help. That's what's considered viability
Wait,
in Roe v. Wade.
which Supreme Court?
Roe v. Wade,
Read the
1973. You ever
text.
heard of it?
Read
You
the
guys
text.
are too dumb.
Read the
You're
text.
Too dumb.
Read
You're too
the
dumb to
text.
have this
Read
conversation.
the text. Read
I
it.
just read it. You're too
Read
dumb
the
to
full
have this
thing. Read it.
conversation
Read the text.
because you're uneducated and
Read
you
the
believe in
text.
butchering babies.
Sure.
And
At how many weeks is a fetus viable? How many weeks?
I literally just told you. And he ran. Why did he run? Why did he run?
Where'd you go, buddy?
Like, why'd you leave? So, guys, what Roe v. Wade does say, all right, Roe v. Wade, all right, define, Roe v. Wade does mention viability, All right. But it does not actually say what it is because that's scientific. It says the ability of the fetus to live outside the womb. All right. Science has determined that. Biology has determined that. Biology says it's actually between, why is your background so loud? Science actually says it's between, all right, 22 to 24 weeks, all right, is when viability starts.
Actually,
come on.
We had someone on the line in your background.
Adorna, what was that?
Fuck anyway. Almost ready for you, buddy. Really quickly, the world's record that we had in Guinness was, I believe, a baby that was 21 weeks.
Yeah, 21
that
weeks
was
is the
born
earliest.
early to survive. This instance specifically with Kenya, what was her name? Kenya Lisa King, I think. Yeah, Kenya Renee King was 19, and this was in 1984. Yeah, and that's went to the Guinness Book of World Records at that point. Not sure what happened afterwards for them to count the 21-week-old. If you had such an issue with the point of viability and how it wouldn't account for, I guess, exceptions, then you would be arguing against reducing the limit to where someone can have an abortion versus trying to outlaw abortion. At the bare minimum, while I disagree with it, at least Florida tried that with the extension to 20 weeks. But that's not your argument. You're just against abortion. Then you tried to make the things with the Constitution. You didn't fucking know the Constitution. Anyway, W's in the chat to Unamused moniker for the 25 on Venmo. Kick Justin, thank you so much. W's in the chat to Barbara for the $50 PayPal. Please drop this awful excuse of a human. Barbara, thank you so much, Barbara. And W's in the chat to Alex for the 10. Can we please not listen to a bitch ass man speak out about women's bodies? We don't. Mind you, he ran. I was waiting for him to respond, and he ran. I will be splitting this between Adorna and Thing. I'm assuming your links are in there. I'll make sure to get you both. Thank you guys so much for your support. That was, God, that was annoying. Alrighty. Caller, you're on the line. What is your name? I got you.
Thanks. Sorry, I'll hop down. Appreciate you for having me up. Thanks.
All right. Love you, Adorna.
Love you too. Bye.
Caller, you're on the line. What is your name?
Hello, are you speaking with me?
Yes.
My name's Norm.
Norman?
Yes, Norman.
Did you vote for Trump?
I absolutely did.
All right, hold please. Go ahead, Erica.
All right. Shout out to Samantha for the 5. Samantha said, it is unfortunate his mom didn't believe in AB. Also, I argue a 1-year-old child wouldn't survive if put back in the womb of a woman either. This man is a folio. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That was a lot. Tap the screen, y'all. Do all of the good things. Also, shout out to Amanda for the 25 for a drop pull from a butcher. I know that's right. I have a long-standing appointment every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like to go see the doctor. I do. And we do a thing. It's called an abortion every Sunday. And I've done it since 2022. Every Sunday, I get an abortion.
All right, Norman, do you regret your vote?
I definitely do not.
You definitely do not. All right, cool.
I'm actually looking forward to voting for Trump a 4th time, if that's possible.
Interesting. So, do you believe Trump is a constitutionalist?
I do. I've lived in New York State for my entire life. I'm 49 years old.
Okay. So you're looking forward to Trump violating the Constitution by him running for a 4th
No, actually,
term.
they impeached him, so that might actually give him the opportunity to run for a 4th time. I would only want it to happen if it's legal. If it's not legal, I wouldn't want it to happen.
How does impeachment work? What's the 2-part process?
It actually goes to the Supreme Court eventually. And so Trump wasn't fully impeached. You do know that, correct?
You just said they impeached him twice. You just said that.
Yeah, but they can, just like they can take, ma'am, just like they can give you a ticket and then you go to court and you fight that ticket and you can get away from that ticket. Is that correct? Like if you're speeding and they say you're speeding, but you're really not speeding, so then they give you a ticket, then you go to court, and then you can prove your case in court, correct?
Yeah.
It
Is that
can
how it
go to
works in
court.
the
It
United
doesn't
States?
always go to court. All right. So
Wait,
there's that
it
part. And
actually
then
always
also
does go to
additionally,
court.
Donald
It
Trump,
actually
actually, no, it
always
doesn't.
does
It's a
go to
two-stage
court.
process. It actually goes between
When
the
does it
House
not
and
go
the
to
Senate.
court?
So there's that. There's the Senate.
When does it
There's the
not go to
House
court,
first, and then there's
ma'am?
the Senate.
Ma'am,
So there's that
when
part.
does it not
So
go to
let
court?
us
You just said it
know.
Barbara,
doesn't go to
Let
court.
us
When does it
Barbara,
know.
not go
I
to
just
Let
want to
court?
us
let you know,
know.
Barbara, I will allow
If I get a
you to
ticket,
this
or
this
if I
will
get
consider
a
your
hearing, when does it not go to
your
court?
50 a pocket
Explain
drop.
that.
Barbara, we will consider your 50 a pocket drop. Say the word, you can drop whoever you want after. I'm sorry, what do you say?
You know what? I'm
When
sick
does
and
it
tired of this
not go to
BS.
court?
You
You
tell
can't answer that
us.
question.
No, because it doesn't go
I
to
didn't answer the
court,
question.
God
stupid.
bless you.
All right. The House is
Thank
the
you,
one
Canary.
that
Those
impeaches.
32
Excuse me, shush
fake
up. I'm
impeachment
talking.
was
So the House impeaches, all right,
overturned.
and
Was
then
that correct? Was it
The Senate
overturned?
decides
Ma'am, was it
whether or not
overturned?
to remove. So there's it. That's the end of the process. That's it.
Was it
Dummy.
overturned? Yes or no?
So
Dummy.
stupid.
You call me a bubblehead?
You
You
are
call
a
me a
dummy.
dummy?
You are a bobblehead.
Was it
You are a
overturned? I'm just
bobblehead. You
asking a
an
question.
airhead
Yes or
too.
no? Was it
You that
overturned? You can't
too.
answer that question, correct?
What
You
was
can't answer that question because
overturned?
it was overturned.
What are we
The
talking
impeachment
about?
was overturned, fuckface.
There was no impeachment that was
Impeachments weren't
overturned.
overturned because it didn't
Yes,
even
it
What are
go
you
through the
was.
talking
Senate,
about? You
my
know what
guy.
are you talking about?
Fake impeachment?
The
How can
Senate.
you
You're
overturn
so
an impeachment that did not go
So you got two
go to
against one right
fruition?
now. See, this is, I
You know,
really don't
impeachment
like
my
has to go through
panels
the
God.
where they
House and
got
the
like two
Senate,
people.
right?
I'm trying to like debate two people at once, but I'd rather just debate one person at once.
Okay, cool. You can
I
answer
debate
one
you guys
question
each
now.
individually
How in the
separately.
world can
Okay.
an impeachment be overturned when it wasn't even finished? There was no impeachment to
fake
be
impeachment?
overturned.
I'm glad you guys pushed this because actually that's what got Trump elected. That fake impeachment got Trump elected, in case you haven't figured it out
How is it
yet.
a fake
You
impeachment?
guys have lost the
Did-
culture
so
war.
Trump never went through
All
impeachment
the
proceedings?
bullshit you're pushing, all this fake bullshit
My guy,
you're pushing is what
impeachment
actually
proceedings
got
never
Trump
happened for
elected,
Trump
fuckhead.
twice. You literally cited it. You're the person who cited
3
impeachment.
times. No,
You
I
came
actually
up and
voted
brought
for
it
Trump
up,
3
and
times.
now you're going fake bullshit pushing propaganda.
Hey, gaytard, TDS is a really interesting thing to see.
Nothing gets under my skin more than Trump support who's will bring up shit,
really?
and then the
How
second
come
you
you can't
challenge them
even
on the
talk
shit
with a
they brought
genuine
up,
voice?
they get pissy.
How come you can't
He
even
brought
talk
up
with your
impeachments, and then
you're
he walks
so
back on propaganda.
You're so
Bruh.
You can't even talk with your genuine voice. It's hilarious. So what would you like to debate next?
My genuine
Fake
voice?
impeachment is
I'm
already
sorry,
over.
is this a fake
it
voice that
didn't
I'm putting
work.
on right now? You know the
It
sound of
worked.
my real
If
voice?
it worked, Trump would not have gotten elected, would he? If it actually worked, would have Trump gotten elected? How come that didn't work? What happened? Actually got elected. Hilarious, right?
Not a blight, no sense.
What happened? If it actually worked, he'd be in jail, wouldn't he? I still haven't figured this out. He's 28. He's keep pushing. Hilarious. I really hope you guys vote like Kamala Harris to death. Please, dude. Like, that would be my birthday's coming up in like a week. Please.
Barbara said drop him, and Barbara used her pocket drop. W's in the chat to Barbara. W's in the chat to Vincent for the $1 Venmo. Oh, okay. All right. I'm just.
What was that?
This is two guests back to back who bring up something. They bring it up. And if they don't straight up walk it back, they can articulate what they brought up. We weren't even allowed to make arguments against their thing off the bat. They brought shit up. And then they couldn't articulate it. He brought up the impeachments. He said Donald Trump is a constitutionalist president. And then him running for a third term would be against the Constitution, and somehow cited the impeachment trials, which never went to the Senate, only passed the House, as some type of loophole for him to be able to do it again.
He's crazy.
Now, the thing is that they did go to the Senate. It's just that the
Oh,
Senate
yes,
chose not
thank you.
to remove him.
There we go.
And the impeachment process does not involve the Supreme Court. It doesn't. Once the Senate decides to remove you from office, all right, you are removed from office. That tis it is all. Like, that was wicked.
I just want to say real quick, and I'm gonna drop down. Erica, just be careful because I keep looking for your live and I can't seem to find it. I don't know if it's a low key shadow man but I actually found Hector through your page.
Oh, cool. Awesome. What? Thank you, CJ. I appreciate you, love. Make sure you turn them notifications on. Appreciate you. Shout out to CJ.
Trump supporters
You know,
request
like
up in
me
the
having no fun.
my hands were it wasn't me. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people we unfortunately would, I guess, have to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Stop getting mad when you guys bring up shit you can't substantiate. Also, it's kind of hard to stand on Donald Trump being a constitutionalist president, considering the fact that he called for the termination of the Constitution. If you'd like to give me an example of a Democratic president, the ones you guys say don't respect the Constitution, if you'd like to give me an example of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Obama, Clinton, whoever the fuck you guys want to pick at today, violating said Constitution, and the Supreme Court upholds said violation, so on and so forth. Let's do it. Let's do it. Give me something to work with. Versus whatever the fuck that was.
What is happening, bro? I'm just like, what in the world? How you getting mad at us discussing impeachment? You brought it up.
What's Adorna's thing?
I have Adorna's, Adorna Lukes, Lukes.
Okay, tell me what was sent to you and figured out so I know what to do.
I got 30. Somebody sent me 25.
Okay.
And someone else said 5, so it's 30.
Okay, got it. Let me find. And you said hers is Adorna Luke's? Mm-hmm. Okay. I typed LOLs.
Trump supporters, get in the box. Request up. Let's have a conversation. All right. You're the demographic of people that Hector wants to speak with. I'm not sure about it yet, but you are the demographic of people that Hector wants to speak with. All right. So I am going live in 11 minutes.
I was about to say, it's probably when I'm wrapping up here.
Okay.
It is just exactly Adorna Luke's on Venmo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just make double checking. Why can't I?
Let me sure, because I know I had her on PayPal before, but let me see, or on the whatchamacallit.
I didn't see a profile picture. She may not have one set. Okay. Is Netanyahu alive? No idea if he's alive or dead. There's no reason necessarily to support. There's no evidence to support that he's gone. I don't know where these things are coming from and why it's being spread like wildfire. We don't know. I would say don't consider yourself so lucky.
It's just Adorna Luke's. There's no profile picture, but it is her.
Okay, thank you.
Call from
Joshua.
Joshua, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
I absolutely didn't.
You did.
I mean, I just got done listening to you saying that, I don't know if you checked it out or not, but yes, it did go to the Senate both times, and he was acquitted both times.
Yeah, we had that correction. When I meant it didn't go to the Senate, it was referencing it didn't pass the Senate, but yes, it went to the Senate. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. That's all I was doing. That's all.
Thank you. Just like one word off. When I was saying it didn't go to the Senate, I meant pass. Okay, thank you, Adorn. I see. I can't click on your thing from here. What do you say?
I said that.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't listening. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to tell people about the Russian thing.
Okay.
So what had happened is that, as we all know, that the U.S. has actually lifted sanctions on Russian oil, right? And what they're doing is they're allowing 30-day licenses for people to be able to purchase the Russian oil. But the thing is that the EU is not actually happy about this, right? Because what Chancellor Merz, all right, the dude in Germany, he said that the decision by the U.S. administration had come as a surprise, all right? And they also said that, this is per politico.eu, by the way, crushing Merz's hopes that Washington might refrain from taking such steps, as other G7 members had strongly urged Trump not to ease the pressure on Moscow during a joint video call on Wednesday. Right? They didn't want him to do this. What he said was, we want to ensure that Russia does not exploit the war in Iran to weaken Ukraine. right? And he also said, nor will we allow Moscow to test NATO on its eastern flank and up here in the north. Because the main thing is that we all know that because Iran basically controls the Strait of Hormuz, right? And they have the water mines and whatnot down there, and they're attacking any tanker that isn't theirs, right? Trump eased the sanctions on Russia, right? Supposedly so that we could have more supply of oil, because when you have more of a supply, then you can bring the price down, right? Yet we do want to know that price per barrel is currently over $100. I just want to let you all know that it's currently over $100 as of today. The next part of this is what Chancellor Merz said. Chancellor Merz said, we think that's wrong. All right. And he said there is currently a price. Excuse me, please be quiet.
Why are you bald?
He said there is currently a price problem, but not a supply problem. And in that regard, I would like to know what other factors led the U.S. government to make this decision.
Bald. You're bald. You're bald. You don't have any hair. You're bald. You're so bald.
He really wants
Julian, did you
attention.
vote for Trump?
White men love censoring themselves.
Yeah. Julian, did you
He
vote
has
for
white
Trump?
position.
Yo, what's up, Baldy?
Julian,
Bald
did you
boy?
vote for Trump?
Hey, what's up, Baldy?
Julian,
Huh?
did you vote for Trump?
Hey, man. I mean, he got like
10,
he has a
9,
cheat code, right?
8, 7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
6, 7,
4,
and you don't have
3,
any hair on
2,
your head. You
1,
have no hair.
0.
No hair.
And so basically, this is going to allow Russia to pretty much like, for whichever countries decide to do this type of trade with them within the 30 days, which we know is going to end up lasting longer than just 30 days, they're going to make hand over fist. All right. Russia makes more money. Russia can produce more weapons. Russia produces more weapons. Russia can continue to attack Ukraine. Think about it. Also, another thing is that it's most definitely a thing that China is, of course, going to be getting this oil from Russia. All right. So, yeah, this is fun. Donald Trump is just setting everybody up for the fucking okie doke.
I thought
to
we
help
were
out his
against
bestie.
lifting sanctions on, like, bad
No.
people. I think it's crazy. That was the whole complaint with the JCPOA, right? That we lifted those sanctions.
Yes.
And now we're like, yay, let's do it for Russia.
Oh, I want to
they
go
have
over
nukes.
something with that too.
Mike, you vote for Trump?
Yes, all 3 times.
All 3 times. I've had a night, Mike. Are you calling to have a conversation or be a thorn in my side?
Yeah, I've been listening in, and I kind of feel a little bit disappointed a little bit with
Love
some
how
of
he
the
didn't
call-ins.
answer the question.
Because I just don't really hear really anybody having any form of like a decent conversation so far. And I'm really hoping that some of the other Trump voters that are listening in would at least try to at least pull your pants up, and just kind of get a little bit more professional, at least with some of you guys on these podcasts and whatnot. But yeah, there's one thing that I do technically do want to bring up just for a little clarification, if that's all right.
Sure.
Right. I just had it on my phone. Give me just a second. Because this is in regards of terminating the Constitution. I just had it. Why is my phone not?
The Truth Social post that he
Sounds
made in 2020 after he lost the election?
Yeah. Just give me a... Why is it not loading?
This is in addition to the December 2022 True Social post.
Yeah, it was 2022. Yeah, my page isn't loading. Okay, so
Would you like me to pull it up and read it?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up and read it. Yeah, because I just had it and it's not showing up for me. Thank you.
No problem. Alrighty. Let's see. Really second, let me do a quick PSA before we get into it. Guys, 849 people in here, and the 150. We have 1,000 people watching in total across both platforms. If you're not following or subscribing to me, hit that follow button or subscribe. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. You guys know what to do to support the platform. Obviously, there's going to be links in the bio, or those of you on YouTube, the links in the description of this video. If you just want to say hi, send some support, or, I don't know, do the ashwagandha fund or the, coconut oil for Hector's bald head fund. You can do all that shit in the links in the bio. Share out the live, turn on notification bells, subscribe, hit the like button. Please do all of that, reshare, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing the full PSA. All right. So I have it here, and I'll just go ahead and read it. So with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections.
Okay, so that's basically the context statement that I have here through a quick Google search. A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, so on and so forth. Now, the Post has argued that such a determination was necessary in order to overturn the 2020 election results. I'm not too entirely sure about that myself, but, if fraud is kind of a part of the equation, and that just necessarily just kind of breaks the rules of the Constitution anyways, how will we actually kind of go about going through an investigation without a temporary termination of the Constitution? I just want your input there.
The Constitution would not have to be terminated for investigations to be sought out in regards to fraud in the 2020 election. In fact, we had several around that time, spearheaded by Donald Trump and Republican judges and appointees. In fact, we saw 63 courts and 83 judges, again, majority of them being Republican appointed, that ascertained that there wasn't substantial enough fraud to turn the elections in his favor. And it was actually one of the safest elections that we've ever had. So Donald Trump, when he made this post, it was a bold-faced lie. We've had several investigations take place after 2020, spearheaded independently by the FBI under both administrations into suspicions surrounding any election, but especially 2020. We just had one recently, the FBI under Kash Patel, Trump's appointee. What day is it? Sunday? Friday. They literally just closed another investigation into Nevada fraud when they found that 38 people may have, it still didn't pull up anything, may have not been citizens.
Yeah, keyword may have, yeah.
So this is why I say this post very much said what it said, and it would not be substantiated. The context of it being under the guise of fraud, is which he would say it would warrant the termination of a Constitution, would not work, considering that we've had courts at that point when he made the post that ascertained what he was saying wasn't true. And then the fact that he's still been touting this around for the last 6 years, despite having no evidence whatsoever, shows that he meant what he said. And he ultimately wants the Constitution terminated because he lost. He wants the Constitution violated in response to Republicans going forward, trying to get him to run for a third term when it only allows 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, I totally agree with you with not, disbanding the Constitution at whatever means. Even if there is fraud in the equation, I think that's completely ridiculous, actually. And it's one of the things I'm disappointed about Trump. Absolutely. There has been things where Donald Trump has just kind of like gone a little bit overboard, and that can't necessarily be denied. While at the same time, I still think that within our political system, whether it be Democrat or Republican, our system is completely corrupt. And we do need that Constitution for whenever, we do have a tyrannical government, taking place. I mean, Second Amendment, and we need our First Amendment rights too. And if we were to have that temporary termination, as Donald Trump suggested, we would basically lose those two primary rights that a lot of the people on the right favor.
Yeah, which is exactly why I could not vote for Donald Trump in good conscience. The way I keep stating it with people, and I stand on this wholeheartedly, is imagine playing a game with a group of friends. Imagine playing Monopoly, and I'm sure you're familiar with how Monopoly works. You get your thimble, they get their dog, whatever. You're rolling your dice, you're making your rounds, you're buying up the properties, you're upping them from houses to hotels. The people are landing on them, and they're losing, and they're taking a bunch of money. Your friend, getting gas kicked, flips the fucking table, okay? Completely flips it, loses his mind. He said, you guys were stealing money out of the bank when I wasn't looking. You were putting hotels where the houses were. You were manipulating the dice to roll double sixes so you can keep rolling again and again and again and get all these favorable things. Every time you dropped, a wind blew and moved you to a preferred location. Said all this bullshit. And you just go, sure, show me the proof. Maybe you had a ring camera in your house or some type of security. You play over the security. And you may have seen a dude pick his nose and do something. You may have seen your friend get up, come back, and roll the dice for a second time, and then no one caught wind of that, and it wasn't his turn. But you don't see anything that in any way, shape, or form alludes to this person losing unjustly. Despite that, they keep saying this year after year after year. They keep coming back to the game night and ruining it for everyone else. At what point do we tell that person to fuck off? At what point do we tell that person that you're nuts? At what point do we stop allowing them to play the game and disrupt everyone's peace?
Yeah, I have a similar take on that, and I usually involve like a game like Foursquare. Picture, if you will, I'm independent party myself. I'm not exactly a registered Republican or Democrat in any of the sense, but I do have friends that are both Republican and Democrat, and it's like one of either one is hogging up the ball and not throwing it to either side, and not including someone like me, right? And everything just starts getting divided, and everything just kind of gets to the point where we're constantly calling each other, on these podcasts and whatnot, and just completely insulting each other under like every name within the book. And I'm just kind of like over here, like, guys, we need to unite instead of divide, and everything just keeps getting blown out of proportion. I'm pretty sure, yes, Democrats have pretty good reason to not to want to vote for Donald Trump. I also have pretty good reason why people wanted to vote for Kamala, for example, or I can't really pronounce her name. Kamala, yeah, thank you. But with that being said, every single politician on either side, as I've noticed as I'm getting older, I'm like 35 now. They just keep playing this game of corruption, manipulation, handling our money and our taxes inappropriately into places that we don't necessarily need them. And I'm personally under, why can't we just like try to support ourselves first so that we can support everybody else?
So to answer what you said in regards to being an independent and Democrats and Republicans tossing the ball to each other, not giving third parties any chance.
God bless
the
you.
reason why third party doesn't have any power is because third party doesn't seem to care about it. And I say that because third party candidates and coalition and buildups only seem to show up federally during federal election years. Donald Trump literally started campaigning for the 2024 election basically since he lost the 2020 election, but he definitely ramped it up in 2022. It seems like the likes of Jill Stein and Chase Oliver and Marianne Williamson and the rest of them only pop up at a time where they could not possibly gain enough votes to even have a chance. I believe they need 5% of the general populace vote to secure additional funding to have a chance to compete. And the closest we've gotten to, I don't even think we got close this last election. I want to say it was the early 2000s.
We only managed about 3.7% last time. That was it.
Yeah. So there's that.
Despite there's and also despite if you look at registration numbers as well for what people align their parties with, it just seems like the majority of Americans, around 55%, claim as independent. But I really don't see that most of the time, especially when I'm coming out to just going outside and meeting with friends. It just doesn't. Those numbers seem kind of skewed off.
Yeah, 1 second. Hey, Jared, you fucking dolt. I never said that Green Party members don't hold any office. So you responding to that and saying that I'm wrong means you clearly have a comprehension problem. You see what I'm working with, my guy? This is why we can't. We've been having a civil conversation. Okay, so yeah. Where was I last leaving off at? Yeah. So I don't think they're putting in enough work to become recognizable and gain the capital that they need in their downtime. Showing up just when it's an election year for the presidency is not the way to go. Not to mention a lot of them end up just really dropping the ball near the end. I can speak to Marianne Williamson, who I was going to vote for initially in 2024, and then she dropped out. Then she tried to get back in after, and per the rules, you can't. It's all these games and nonsensical stuff. But anyway, despite that, we have a two-party system, whether we like it or not. And the easiest way, the best way moving forward, to get to any type of third-party candidacy and advocacy would actually be voting Democrat. Would you like to know
why? So this is where we're going to possibly disagree here, because my voting is mainly based on strategy. I would say it would have to be more of a social strategy. Okay, so there are things that I do like about Donald Trump, absolutely. But as far as his personality goes and the way he acts and the way he tweets, I honestly wish that he didn't behave in certain manners, because it's just adding more fuel to the fire and it's being extremely disruptive. But when I look back at all the election years, I don't like Joe Biden. I never liked Hillary Clinton. I kind of like. I liked Bill Clinton, but now I'm starting to like him even less with all the stuff that's coming out about the Epstein files and his behavior towards them. And I'm just kind of okay, well, if Bill Clinton is saying, well, Donald Trump didn't really do anything, I'm just kind of concerned of well, wait, hold on. Is there even further collusion into all of this stuff going on right now? Because I would like to know if all of these people are all in on this somehow. I would love to, even if it destroys our whole entire system.
God bless you.
Let's revolt and get this fucking wood chipper. Okay, start grinding that bitch. But the evidence has to come out. And whenever I hear Democrats talking about the evidence about Donald Trump, well, here's the thing.
Are you referencing the Epstein files?
Bunch. Yeah, well, it's just I'm just using the Epstein files as an example for evidence against Donald Trump. And I'm still trying to, ask, okay, so where is this information? Because I've been over the Epstein files. I've been over quite a lot of documents for the past, I want to say 16 or so years, really, since I really started voting. And it just seems like everything is just a massive distraction from the bigger picture. Now, I will probably say that if Donald Trump is involved with such a huge conspiracy such as that, then yeah, I'll gladly say, okay, well, yeah, I regret voting for Donald Trump, throw him out the front door. But we have to have substantial evidence in order for that to become an essential reality. And unfortunately, the FBI and all the other agencies are so corrupt to the point where they blanket out, the names of the perpetrators, but not the victims. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why did you vote for Donald Trump?
Well, for like I said before, it's more of a social political strategy because I was seeing a whole bunch of my friends basically who they don't really like read into like
What
history. I
was
know
the
who these people
strategy?
are. The strategy was to see how badly hurt they would be if someone like me would vote for Donald Trump and how obsessed they would go with it. And it just seems like these people on the more Democratic side are a little bit too obsessed with Donald Trump than they are about essential policies or things that happen globally, other forms of strategy that would help our country to actually heal instead of just constantly bicker at each other and all of our autonomy numbers just completely skyrocketing out of control.
Don't you think
Yeah.
that the president of the United States, being Donald Trump, a 34 count convicted felon, a civilly liable sexual assaulter, a man who demonized immigrants, a man who cut health care and SNAP benefits and social programs, disparaged foreign allies and threatens our positions overseas, don't you think all of that would not be something that the opposing party who advocates for change and health and overall betterment of the country, don't you think them focusing on the person who'd threaten all the things that Democrats, or better yet, the country universally stands on, don't you think that would be a priority of the Democrats to talk about? Now, I can agree with you in regards to some marketing and whatnot, that I do think some people to put too much of a hyper focus on Trump versus in many cases what his underlings are doing or life after him. I can agree with that, but it's kind of hard not to, considering that almost hourly we have some new bullshit that he's putting out.
Okay, so imagine this, if you will. You know how like a lot of people on social media just blast people so hard to the point where they, were getting canceled, or, the constant harassment and exposure of some of the things that they were doing that was completely inappropriate, correct?
Cancel culture? Do I remember that time period?
Yeah. Okay, so think of it this way. I like to think of it like this. If the Democrats honestly and truly had something on Donald Trump, right, and they really wanted to get at him, the information would have been released a long time ago. It would have been great, but the most that we have thus far as quote-unquote evidence is just him saying, really rude, inappropriate things, right? But everybody practically does that. I mean, even Joe Biden has done that before. Hillary Clinton certainly has. Bill Clinton is no pure angel either. George Bush, drunk frat boy, monkey face. There's a lot of people in politics, unfortunately, just like the rest of civilization, is kind of going to be like that.
Democrats have been sounding the alarm on Trump's corruption for the past decade, before we even had his behavior in the Oval Office.
Right.
We've been talking about his lawsuits, or better yet, settlements, way back from his dad's housing, when he put C on black and brown people's applications to deny them housing. They were talking about his fraudulent behavior in New York with some of his businesses and corporations, his relationship with Roy Cohn. Do you know who Roy Cohn is?
Yeah, but that's also the point that I'm getting at, is that all I'm hearing is mainly talk, and that's
talk about his actions, his documented actions,
without significant evidence. Now, the reason why you would want to put the spotlight on Donald Trump as being president is so that way you have the perfect opportunity to put that exposure onto him, and if you wanted to get him impeached, that's exactly what you would do.
Okay, so some of those things would not necessarily imply or apply to impeachment trials. I'm talking about his first election and everything that we had prior. because you talked about proof and documents. We had the documents of the settlement that him and his father took in the housing discrimination case. We have the documents of the fraudulent behavior between him and Roy Cohn, that why he ran to Florida and Palm Beach to begin with. We have the documents with him and his lawyer, Paul Rambo, who helped him get Mar-a-Lago started. We have the documents of Trump University and that lawsuit, which was a scam. They have that settlement. We have the documents, the video evidence of him talking about grabbing women by the ussy, telling 10-year-olds that he would date them in 10 years, walking into underage girls' dressing rooms. We have documents of all of that. And then we had the allegations of Russian collusion, and which turned out to be nothing with him specifically, but then we saw some of his associates go down, including Rudy Giuliani. All of that was documented.
Okay. All right. So, with all this evidence and everything that's going on, and let's just say that we have all the documentation and everything, we'll go for that, right? I'm gonna trust your word on this. So, how is this not enough to get him out of the seat?
You would have to ask the 70, how much people was it in 2016? I don't remember 2016. But we can talk about the 75 million in 2020, which he lost, or the 77 million in the last election. You would have to ask them why everything I cited, which was just some of the plethora of things that we had against him in 2016. We're not talking about his first term and then his everything leading up to the second and then everything he's done then. You'd have to ask them why none of the bullshit that he said and did wasn't enough. Because I quite frankly don't have an answer for you.
Right. So, and that.
In fact, actually asking why is kind of crazy, because you're the why. You're the why. You said you voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you mentioned that you voted for him as some type of what? Correct me if I'm misinterpreting what you said. As a social political strategy to harm Democrats?
To harm basically both parties at the same time, if I'm going to be quite frank about it, because when it comes to the politics here in the United States, we have way too much corruption. I've seen it from both sides of the aisle at this point, and I would like to have some exposure highlighted on it. And it seems like the only way that we would be able to do that is to weaponize our votes a little bit. But so far, weaponizing our votes hasn't really helped us any, to be quite frank. Now, of course, the whole entire thing with like voting in a candidate, it's not a guarantee of any of the goals that I would have in mind. Now, a lot of the things I have assumed that would eventually calculate to has happened, but not everything.
I
right?
mean this with
and
the
it also
utmost
seems
respect, because you've been civil so far. Do you
Yeah.
not realize what a load of bullshit you just said?
Well, that's the whole entire point, is that a lot of this, everything that's been going on so far has been bullshit. And thinking clearly about it is not always going to 100% work, I'm afraid.
What? Dude, how did the 81 million people who voted for Biden in 2020 harm the country?
Basically, everything economic-wise, we skyrocketed way too much, and we could have actually controlled that a little bit better, even considering the fact that we were going through COVID. I understand that through a worldwide pandemic that is unfortunately a little bit hard to control, and we're talking about a microscopic virus here that can kill people. And that was during Trump's last term when it first started, if I remember correctly. It was at the last year. But unfortunately, when it comes to Biden, it's very clear that he was very incoherent. He was going down a little bit mentally. Yes, he did have his support. He did have his constituents and everything. But I'm also kind of thinking at the same time, they could have taken advantage of that whole entire situation too, which doesn't really ease my mind too well.
The pandemic wasn't something to be taken advantage of. It was something to be mitigated. And it was by both administrations. One almost threatened it by lying to the American public and his redeeming quality was Operation Warp Speed. And then Biden came up and took over. We knew of the issues that were happening with supply and demand, what directly led to inflation rate being sky high. Peak of it was 2022, which brought up the cost of every single thing. And then the Biden-Harris administration responded with several pieces of legislation: the Infrastructure Act, CHIPS and Science, Inflation Reduction. And then near the end of his term, Donald Trump was literally able to take over in his second term with a fantastic economy, fantastic gas prices, grocery prices being decent, not great, but decent. Egg prices was going up because of the bird flu. So Biden did his job. He fixed the economy from an event that in some cases could have been better handled by the previous administration, but from effects that he could not control, including the October 7th attack in Israel, and then the Russia-Ukraine invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little baffled as to, like, if you have issues with the Democrats, I get it. I have mine, but the Democrats did their job. And to vote in someone who challenged all of the work that they did and quite literally have set us back by damn near 20, 30, 40, 50 years, especially in civil rights, doesn't seem to make any sense. Especially if you said you're voting to harm the parties. You harmed the people. You harmed the constituents. You harmed 360 million people in the United States and people abroad. You harmed the Iranian children's school that just got bombed by U.S. Tomahawks that they're currently gaslighting us about. You harmed the millions of Haitians and Sudanese and otherwise who got their funding cut for food and otherwise, and healthcare via USAID. You harmed hundreds of thousands and millions of Americans who got laid off in the federal government because Donald Trump said they were DEI hires. Mind you, none of those reports showed firing because of people who didn't perform well. They just laid them off because. Those are the people who got harmed and are continuing to be harmed because this guy's a fucking nut. So I understand your issues with the party system, but only one party was trying to hold this shit together, and they're currently being hampered.
I would have to disagree wholly with the Democratic Party trying to hold this up together, because if that was the case, they probably would have stayed with some of the same issues and also the policies that they were having way back in the 2000s and the early 2010s.
What policy was detrimental?
So even Hillary Clinton and Obama, they were both on the same page when it came to, like, say, for example, immigration issues, right? That's not necessarily the case no more. And it seems like a lot of Democrats are along with this as well. And same thing when it came to COVID, when this time came around. We are actually just more divided than ever. And I understand that you're a little bit upset by my point of view about harming the, parties. But of course, at the same time, civilians will always be casualties no matter what's going on politically. We're all basically pawns in this whole entire scheme.
How does voting for Donald Trump, who has weaponized ICE to literally and have killed American civilians, violate the 4th and 5th and 14th Amendments, which is the foundation of this country? How did that help people? Not to mention, the immigration issue that you'd be referencing was being handled by Democrats, and in regards to Congress, was hampered by the Trump administration via S4361 in 2024. Are you aware of that bill?
Currently not aware of that bill at the moment, but as far as ICE killing people, there's only been 2 citizens so far, where we had more school shootings in the past 2 years than we had.
It's more than that, really, but I can only quote 4 off the top of my head.
Are we at 4 now? So
Renee
4
Nicole
people,
Good, Alex
right?
Preddy, Keith Porter Jr., and the other person was it was a Hispanic to Latino name. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. And like I stated before, every single person, whether they're a legal person here in this country or illegal or vice versa, whatever term you want to use, everybody on this planet is basically collateral damage, and that will never change. And
collateral damage of the parties is very different from just overall collateral damage.
it's collateral damage of the human race, my guy, and that's just how the world unfortunately is working at this point in time.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
you have this issue with both parties, and I can agree with you on many things. But one thing you have struggled to articulate is how any of the policies, specifically of Kamala Harris, that she would have ran off of, and Democrats would have been exactly just as harmful, if not the exact same, as what Donald Trump has been doing today. Because I very much vote for harm reduction. I understand harm is going to happen regardless, but I also vote to save people. I vote for progression, and that's why I vote Democrat. Republicans have not provided any solutions in those regards. So what exactly was your issue with Harris and her campaign?
okay, so let's go with Harris.
Tariffs?
Harris. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go with immigration, right? She supports a balanced approach of border security, addressing root causes of migration, correct?
Say that again.
She supports a balanced approach of border security, addressing root causes of migration and creating earned pathways to citizenship. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are those pathways?
She wanted to, her under Biden, under their first term, the 2021 U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021, which was to legalize undocumented migrants who are here, giving them a pathway to come to the light, become citizens, and even more so contributing members of society, so long as they did not have any violent criminal records on them. We can talk about, like I was referencing, S4361 at the end of Biden's term, which was shut down by Republicans. And I can cite that if you look up the bill in the Senate. Only one Republican voted for it. That was sponsored by James Langford and another prominent Democrat. I can't remember her name. And that would have actively set a cap on encounters that we had on the southern border past a certain amount of people crossing, an average of 2,500 a day, 8,000 a week. We would have closed down the border and then kept it closed for an additional 2 weeks unless the numbers drove down. It would have given $700 million towards continuing construction of the border wall, which I think is stupid, but that was Democrats conceding, so be it. It would have applied funding to hire 12 to 1,500 more immigration lawyers and judges to process the backlog of claims, which would involve individuals who may have had records. So we would have got to them faster and eliminated the threats to our society, and several other provisions in the bill. It was the most closest to GOP border immigration bill we've had in the last 30 to 40 years. And Republicans said no to it because Donald Trump didn't like it.
Okay, so my only other question is this also the same policy that Biden was also wanting to have as well, since she was the vice president?
This was under their term. It was a bill that was negotiated in Congress.
Okay, so we agree on this so far, all right? But the only other question is, you did bring up people that have pretty much caused a crime, right? Are we talking federal, domestic, violent?
Yes, I was referencing in regards to the legalization in the Citizenship Act of 2021, the only people who would have been allowed to become citizens per that bill, if it passed, which it didn't, would be undocumented migrants who did not have criminal records.
Okay, so this is prior to crossing the border, correct?
No, this is for people who are here. And I guess it may have applied to people who came here, but there's already those options.
So technically, this is a conundrum that I think a lot of people are also not getting the bigger picture of. When you cross the border, is that a federal crime?
It is a whatchamacallit. Federally, yes, it's a misdemeanor, or at least after the second time. It's federal overall, but it is a misdemeanor.
Okay,
so it is a penalty of $250 that could lead
crime.
to deportation, and maximum, if you have some type of record, 6 months to a year in prison.
Okay, but it's still considered a crime, correct?
Sure. There's a lot of things considered a crime that we do not go after with the full might of the law.
And why is that?
Civil offense, yeah. Why is that? Resources that has a large role to play in it. Also, it seems to be irrelevant to attack someone who just wanted to come here for a better life with a hammer. If they don't have any, if they're not a threat to society. I mean, if you're asking me why I think it's not enforced harder, which if it is enforced hard enough, then it would be a priority. We would prioritize like violent criminals, traffickers, and other things versus, again, civil offenses.
So I propose to you this, okay? So during Biden's term and during Harris's vice presidency, they had the opportunity to essentially hire more judges. Did this happen?
They don't, the executive branch doesn't control that per se.
Okay, so they don't control
For
that.
example,
Okay.
when it comes to the bonuses and whatnot that ICE just got, the 50,000 sign-on, so on and so forth, that was passed through Congress, the big, beautiful bill specifically. And there were bills put forward by Democrats during their term to do the exact same thing.
Okay, so I will concede to the point at this juncture where basically our immigration system has been royally effed for years. Okay, it has. I prefer for people to come here the legal way or through the asylum way and not try to cross the border illegally, because that creates more problems. It creates more problems for them. It creates more problems for our law enforcement. It creates problems for our citizens. It just creates a huge downslope.
Statistically,
and a huge
no.
snowball effect.
Some of those things would be incorrect.
Well,
we have
okay,
150 years of
you
data
can-
that
you can
show
go by-
undocumented migrants are insignificant
we
when
can
it comes
to-
to
we
overall
can totally
crimes
go-
in the country.
We can totally go by statistics, absolutely sure, but at the same time, statistics don't exactly reflect on people's actual real life experiences, whether they're a legal citizen of the United States or illegal at the same
Statistics
time, correct?
that would cite experiences and data that we can track would not reflect.
So,
What?
So let's put it this way: were illegal immigrants harmed by Border Patrol in any scenario?
Are they harmed by Border Patrol?
Yeah, have they been harmed?
Sure,
such
we
as,
have
like,
we have
I don't
records
know,
of
like,
some
they've been
undocumented
beat
migrants
up,
being
for example.
assaulted. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So these statistics never truly ever reflect the cause and effect of what happens in reality. Sure, some things may sound good on paper. Well, you understand the difference between numbers and real life consequences, correct?
I understand the numbers that we would have would be based off of those real life instances. Otherwise, we would have no data to report in the statistics that I would be citing.
Mm-hmm. And has there ever been a situation? Oh, music. Has there ever been a situation where? Has there ever been a situation where something in reality does not get reported on paper?
Sure, we can't report on every single thing.
Okay.
But we would catch the majority of it, I would argue, and then we can only report on what we know, and there would be no evidence that would say to the contrary. I guess if we're talking about in the instance of undocumented migrant crime, once they commit a crime and someone is harmed, we would have a record of that, and that's the record we use to ascertain if they're a threat or not. There would be literally no way to know whatsoever if undocumented migrant crime significantly outweigh the not reported ones significantly outweigh the ones that we would have. There would be no way to know. That's an unknown factor. And then you'd also be alleging that we have more crimes than not that aren't reported entirely. And the best argument for that could maybe be sexual assault, because women don't often report those out of fear of retaliation and whatnot. But then that would apply to anyone, not just undocumented migrants. And that number would be overrepresented by white men. And I'm not being racist. Look up the statistics on that.
Right. So essentially, statistics can only tell you so much, correct?
Sure.
Okay. So if statistics are to be brought up, it's hard to really essentially trust statistics 100% every single freaking time.
What are we supposed to trust? I don't understand what your argument is. If we can't trust our statistics, how do we do anything? Literally anything. Why do we cite anything? Why do we report anything? This is a strange argument, my guy.
Right. Okay, we have to blend reality with statistics at the same time because statistics can only be so
You
reliable.
can't, there's no
We also have to
separation
look
of the
at reality.
two. We only get the statistics from reality.
Okay. All right. I guess I can't really convince you of blending those two factors in together.
There's no blending. If I go and I pop a cap in
Mhm.
someone's ass, that will be reported. And then that report would go into statistics of how people pop caps in other people's asses. And we can use that to ascertain the numbers. And we can use that to break down whys and hows and what communities and what races. That's how that goes. That's how all of this shit goes.
And when the numbers become too high in volume, it becomes much harder to report and get those things documented. And maybe some documents may fall through the cracks. What then?
What evidence would you have of that being the case, specifically with undocumented migrants? What police precinct is throwing out records of crime that happens because they may not have the manpower to keep it? And that would be a huge state issue or city issue in regards to their funding. If they're not hiring the right people or have a budget to keep record keepers, which, to be fair, we can make an argument how Trump is challenging that. That is a them problem. That is not an indication of undocumented migrants getting off. And then if we are to say it is, we'd have to apply that to everyone else and every other group, which would, again, substantiate my point that even still, American citizens would be the majority of people who commit crimes. I mean, American citizens would be the person you're supposed to be more fearful of versus an undocumented migrant. Everything we know supports that argument.
Right.
Versus people are literally trying to live low-key and under the shadows because they can get deported for anything and everything.
Mm-hmm. But people make mistakes, though, right?
And?
Okay, but yeah, like no human being is perfect, right? So when we ever bring up statistics and there's flaws within the statistics, because we also have an objective reality as well.
Is the flaw in the statistic? Okay, hold on. If you're arguing flaws in statistics, are we arguing the flaw is a lack of reporting on every single thing, which is something we can never fix, or is the argument human error?
Well, the argument is, of course, human error, but at the same time...
So if it's human error, this is something that we can also record and report and fire people on. Then you would have to have a whole nother argument as to how you would believe or substantiate that undocumented crime, a migrant crime, is infinitely more than what's being reported.
Right. And so where I'm getting to the point as where I think where the Democrats specifically are making a mistake when it comes to like border policy and everything is that we tend to take in more illegal immigrants than we do asylees, for example. I mean, they kind of register.
How do we take in?
They get into the country. Oh, damn.
How do we take in undocumented migrants?
What's that?
How do we take in undocumented migrants?
Oh, I thought the call dropped. Sorry. Well, they kind of let themselves in, and we just kind of basically allowed it for the longest time. Some states like Texas kind of really didn't want them to cross the border. If you remember when they were on their horses and they had the wire in the water. Right.
First and foremost, we do not welcome in or allow undocumented migrants to come into the United States. Undocumented migrants just come into the United States. In regards to the example you're going to give in Texas, that's because the Supreme Court found the barbed wire that was being placed across the southern border to be unconstitutional. So that's why it was lifted. And the individuals that were there were then allowed to enter the United States and, yes, claim asylum. Mind you, Greg Abbott did this for asylum seekers, the legal process. Federal funding is allocated to states for asylum seekers, legal processes. Greg Abbott, here in the state of Texas, where I live, took the money that he was allocated from the federal government and still bust off asylum seekers to blue sanctuary cities, which is in part, if anything, a reason why they may have had overcrowded shelters and whatnot, because they weren't prepared for the load that they were sent, despite Texas being ready and having the funding
So
for
why
it.
couldn't we do this at the border?
Do
Why,
what at
why
the
did
border?
they have to come in illegally first and then claim asylum?
Wait, what?
Why
They would claim
illegal
asylum at the
immigrants-
border. They would claim asylum there.
Not every single illegal immigrant did that.
The ones in that video that you're referencing did, yes.
Well, I wasn't referencing a video.
Well,
I
if we're
was
talking about in
referencing
general, we
Texas
don't
itself.
know what we don't know. Regardless, you have a year to claim asylum here in the United States. That's immigration law.
Well, unfortunately, it's kind of a fact that we did have illegal immigrants cross first, then claim asylum after. through, the use of the cell
That's
phone.
how that works. That's how the laws are set up.
I don't think that the law should be set up in that specific way. That actually makes things a little bit worse, and it would inflate
How?
the numbers a little too fast. You gotta think of population numbers, my dude. If
Do we
we're
have a
being little bit
maximum
overcrowded-
capacity in the United States of people who's allowed here?
Technically, no, we do not. But for that to be an actual requirement, that would have to
I'm
be
stressed,
passed through a
Joe.
bill. However, if you were to
I'm
think
fucking stressed.
strategically through numbers,
If
and
you're not
the
following
value
me,
of
hit that follow button in the
people
top left
and
corner.
what
We are live every
resources that
Saturday
they
at 3
do
p.m.
take
CST
in
randomly
and
throughout the
supply and
week.
demand,
Send your
like
daily
they
heart
are
me if you haven't
rated up.
already. Do all the things to support the stream. If you want to
regular
send some
people
gifts, if you
here,
want
whether
to
they came
become a
here,
super fan, if you want to join the
legal
Discord,
way,
subscribe there.
or
If
people
you want to
that were
donate to the
naturally
links in the
born here
bio
in
for
the
this
States, they're gonna
fucking shit,
struggle
check out the
probably
links.
just
Cash
as
App,
much as
PayPal,
the illegal
Venmo.
immigrants
If you're over
are
on the
as
tube
well.
side, like the stream, subscribe, turn on your notification bells
there
on
was
your
a
way in and
lot
way
of
out.
freaking homeless people in
If you want to
freaking
support
LA,
the stream
man,
over on
and it was
YouTube,
a
you can send a
mixture of
super
both
chat or a
illegal
super sticker.
immigrants
I don't know
and
what we're
legal
doing here,
citizens.
but he's at least being civil, and this is the most civil conversation we've had all day. So
the policy that Harris was trying to propose, yeah, it sounds good on paper, but the way that basically
you think it
how
would
it
be
was going through Biden's term, right? The way that was being handled was not exactly what was written on paper. You can't exactly trust what is actually on their policy, but
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't
their
trust
policy
law?
also
If
allowed
that
them.
bill was signed into law, it would have to be enforced under law, and we can trust that the entirety of the government at the time, the entirety of DHS, the entirety of ICE. If your argument is weak democratic enforcement, which is ridiculous, but if that's your argument, we can trust that the entirety of those departments weren't only being held by Democrat or left-leaning people.
And I think this is exactly where the two sides are pretty much abusing the immigration system completely, because it's still to this day.
How are Democrats abusing the immigration system when Democrats have been trying to pass legislation to fix it?
God bless
Donald
you.
Trump has not passed or even introduced, since he's taken the Oval Office the second time around, any immigration reform bill. Everything has been through executive action, with many of it challenged by courts because it's been unconstitutional. Supreme Court requiring this motherfucker to bring back someone he wrongfully deported.
And what are the numbers for someone being wrongfully deported?
I don't know the numbers specifically. I only know of one instance that had to go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Oh, okay. So you don't know. Okay, that's interesting. As far as records show, at least
God bless
we've been
you.
sending back a lot of illegals, and not very many people that are legal here. Probably the asylums, possibly. But again, asylum seekers, the asylum label doesn't give you full immunity in this case.
It quite literally
it
would.
sucks.
If you're in the asylum process and you do not have anything that would violate that process, yes, it would be illegal to deport someone in the asylum proceeding without grounds.
Is there a subsection on the federal law for that?
A subsection that says that you can't deport people who are currently in the process, a legal process of being here, for fear of retaliation, gang violence, used to be sexual violence before Trump did away with that, of course, so on and so forth.
Yes, is there a subsection in the federal law that states this? Well, you can Google it. I mean, you'd probably be able to find it faster than I can right now because I'm on the phone.
People claiming asylum can be deported, but generally only after their claim is formally denied by an immigration judge or official. While a pending asylum application often prevents immediate removal and provides authorized stay, individuals can be deported if they lose their case, commit serious crimes, or fail screening interviews. So they would have to have a reason to deport you per your pending asylum case, in which most cases it would have to fail. Like through the process, you're claiming to fear of persecution from this, and then they come to find out that the region that you said and the gang that you said you mentioned doesn't even fucking exist or some bullshit. Then it's like, okay, well, fuck you. Your process is now invalid. You don't have legal grounds to claim asylum.
Okay. And do we have the statistics of how many we deported any asylees?
Of asylum seekers, do we have statistics?
Yes.
I don't
Do we have
know.
numbers on that?
Does it matter if it's asylum seekers? You understand that Donald Trump has quite literally revoked the legal statuses of people, specifically with TPS. He canceled 30,000 asylum applications when he first came into the Oval Office, has restricted people from claiming asylum when they come to from certain countries, even if they actually want to pay to be here. He's done that. We know he did in the first term with the Muslim ban, and he's ramped it up this time around.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer my question, though.
I'm saying whether it's asylum people or people who've claimed asylum or not, he is still unlawfully, or better yet, I guess, how to say this, use the gray areas of some of our laws to do all the other things that he did.
My question, though. That really doesn't answer my question, though.
I do not have a number of asylum seekers that have been deported. I do have numbers on asylum seekers. Again, a legal process that their asylum applications were canceled, not based off of being invalidated because of lies or false documents, but just because he wanted to.
Okay, but I still want those numbers. You do have the power of Google at your hand.
I do. And you also have the power of Google, because you're the one making arguments that he's doing this thing for immigration. I'm making the argument that he's trash for it.
Okay, but I'm also asking you to look up those numbers yourself, so that way you actually have a base in front of you.
Okay, if I have the numbers and the numbers are 2, then what?
We can then debate the actual number itself. I don't know.
So then you'd be ignoring every other thing that I mentioned, and every other way he's jeopardizing the legal process for people to not only be here, but become citizens.
And what are those numbers?
What?
What are those numbers of the numbers that I'm asking for? Like how many asylum seekers were deported?
What did I just say?
I'm asking you.
What did I just say?
Brother, I'm literally asking you.
I'm asking you to tell me what I just said, because you're asking questions to things that I've literally answered, or at least in portion what I've answered.
Not specific numbers, no.
What was the last thing that I just said?
And you said 2, right?
W's in the chat to Gucci for the $5 Venmo. You say we don't care about your mental health, but you apparently don't care about ours. Yeah, we just started it. We just started it, Gucci. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Laura for the $2 Venmo. Bro needs to get a time machine and take it up with the founding fathers. You don't have to like it for it to be the law. There is that. W's in the chat to y'all. W's in the chat to y'all. Y'all see what's up on the screen. Do what you do. So, okay. All right. I gave a hypothetical and said, what if it's 2? Then what?
I'm joking, of course.
I have no idea what you just said.
I'm still waiting for those asylum seeker numbers.
I just gave you a hypothetical. I said, if it's 2 people, then what?
Well, I don't want a hypothetical. I want an actual number.
Okay. Well, the number would apply, and then a hypothetical would apply, because I'm trying to skip to the part to where you make an argument against whatever the number is, so we can deem if it's moot or not. Because if it's 2, if it's 5, if it's 500, if it's 1,000, that would negate every other thing that I mentioned, every other way he's challenging the legal processes that we have for undocumented migrants, lawfully abiding permanent residents, so on and so forth. The fact that he's jacked up the cost of legal immigration here, despite saying that he's pro that, is ridiculous. Like, how do you argue all against all of that based off of number that I would have of potential asylum seekers that have been deported?
Give me 1 second. I'm lighting up a cigarette. Mm. My mouth may be dry, but I need the cigarette. Okay, so you're proposing the number 2, correct? Okay, what did those 2 asylum seekers would have had done in order for their basically asylum status to be basically revoked if they were to go to court?
I literally answered this already.
Yeah, you did answer it, and it's in the law, right? So if asylum seekers are being deported, whether it's to 100,000 or more, they would have to have done something in order for their asylum status to be taken away, correct?
No. Per the law, that's how you have to do it. Trump has not been respecting the law. He's been passing executive orders.
Mm. All right. Well, I would have to think that if asylum seekers were being deported, they must have had done something in order for them to
That would be something that you would just believe with no facts whatsoever. You would just say it just because you are under the belief that that's the only way Trump can deport them. And then the problem with that premise is if Donald Trump has not been respecting the law to instigate his mass deportation agenda to begin with, then you can't possibly use that as a premise to say he's now respecting the law when he's deporting these asylum seekers.
I'm just using hypothetical on your hypothetical. I mean, we can argue hypotheticals all we want, but, again, I did ask for specific numbers, and probably we could also do some research on
30,000.
Why? 30,000?
30,000 asylum applications that were canceled. You never responded to that.
Oh, they were canceled.
That is correct.
Well, I didn't respond to it because you didn't give me an exact number or to the reason
Well, I
why.
did. I mentioned 30,000 twice already.
Alrighty. So they were canceled, all right? Which sucks. And I would like for asylum seekers to actually come here to this country and actually have, a different lifestyle because, this country is fantastic. We have the Constitution and everything else here, right? A lot of countries don't have a Constitution. They don't have the capability of freedom of speech and vice versa. This country, and a lot of times, is great. A lot of times, it's not. We always have problems, right? But again, the whole entire problem with immigration is that we're not handling it correctly. We're still not handling it correctly.
How has it been handled incorrectly? That's what you have yet to substantiate.
Well, aside from basically people coming here illegally, flooding our system, and making our resources a little bit more limited,
people have always been coming here illegally. How is that a Democrat problem? People are coming here illegally now.
The Democrats are inflating the numbers to a point where it's just unbearable.
How are Democrats inflating the numbers?
Because more people kept crossing the border. They allowed it to happen.
So more people cross mean Democrat do bad.
Mishandled.
We're just going to completely ignore the legislation that would have been put forward in Congress to stop this, that Republicans shut down. We'd have to be completely ignoring the effects of the world fucking wide pandemic, which led to the influx of migrants coming to one of the greatest countries in the world for financial relief. We'd be ignoring all of those factors and saying Democrat have more number, Democrat bad. As if Donald Trump didn't literally declare emergencies at the border in his first term. As if we don't have reports of nationwide encounters for the last 3 months of his 2025 being more than the first 9 months of 2025 combined.
Yeah, but when you ignore the voices and the opinions of the American people as well, and people are in a panic and a lot of chaos is ensuing and a lot of people
What was ignored?
Harmed. Well, obviously the immigration.
It clearly wasn't. If bills were put forward, solutions were put forward, and then it was shut down in Congress. Any ignoring of what Americans want would have fell on the Republicans in 2024.
I didn't say that the Republicans were perfect angels either. No,
Well, you were talking
I don't
about
agree with
Democrats, so I'm making sure I paint a clear picture of the problem here.
I'm specifically talking about Democrats and how they inflated our numbers a little too much.
Democrats didn't inflate numbers because Democrats didn't put out a welcome mat at the southern border and say, come on in. Never happened.
So why were they crossing the border illegally?
Did you just completely ignore everything that I mentioned?
Well, yeah, but we also have a checkpoint for asylum seekers as well, and they didn't go through that.
Immigrants do not have to go to a point of entry to claim asylum here in the United States. And obviously the ones that don't go through that and don't claim asylum is people we can't account for. Border Patrol was not directed under the Biden administration when they see an undocumented migrant crossing the border to just stand there and stare.
Again, we had a checkpoint for this, man.
Again, the checkpoint is irrelevant because if you're trying to come into the country illegally, you're not going to go through a checkpoint. If you don't go through a checkpoint, we can't track you. If we don't catch you, bam, you're in. ICE has to go find you and deport you. And B, for people who would claim asylum, you don't have to.
You're basically describing what's already happening anyways.
I'm describing what the law upholds.
Okay, so let's use another example. Let's use India, for example. Do they have borders?
Every country, for the most part, has borders. What is the point of this?
Okay, so back a while ago, I can't remember the specific year, Afghanistanians were coming to India, crossing the border illegally. What happened?
Does India have the same laws as the United States?
They partially almost have the same laws. They don't exactly have the exact specific laws, but they have just like a basic generalization.
So they're not the same.
What ours is like. They're not the same, but they have the basic. They have the basic.
So I don't really care what India did with Afghanistan.
Right, but this is only an example, though.
But it doesn't matter because they don't have our laws. We care about our laws here.
Right, and if we are to care about our laws, we should also take, for example, of what does every other country do?
That's wild coming from the party that never wants to look at anybody else's laws when we talk about gun reform or when we talk about health care or anything else. Y'all don't care about other countries' laws, but when it comes to border crossings, suddenly we care about other countries' laws.
God bless you.
Oh, I care about the Second Amendment. I have guns myself. My husband is in the Army.
That you completely missed what I just said.
Well, I mean, you said
I don't care about how many
gun
guns you
reform,
have.
And you're absolutely right. I really don't care about a lot of the reforms that people propose about the Second Amendment.
So you don't care about the laws of the countries that have lower gun rates than homicide rates than us with guns, but you care about the countries when it comes to borders. We have higher knife crime than other countries. Than those same countries.
And people still die, bro. People still die.
Okay, so you have no argument then. People are gonna die. Well, people are gonna cross the border. People still cross the border.
I'm pro Second Amendment, and I don't.
Okay, and people still cross the border. So that's your argument. That was your argument as far as gun control. So that's the argument about
that went into India,
immigration.
Illegally, they got deported too.
For the person who just sent this, for a permaban, it would be more than 50. But to be fair, callers don't typically. I don't know a lot of repeat callers that we have, so I don't think we'll need it. But I got you.
Has to always take in illegal immigrants, mishandle the immigration system.
You keep saying that, but you can't articulate it. Guess what? Undocumented migrants are still coming in illegally under the Trump administration. ICE is still doing what the fuck they've been doing beforehand in previous Democratic administrations, which is going and deporting them. In fact, we still haven't touched Biden's numbers yet, or Obama's numbers yet, of deportations. And that includes individuals who didn't have violent criminal records. So what are we talking about?
We also have our citizens impeding the investigations too, which is a bad idea.
What citizen is impeding an investigation?
Well, Renee Good would be a perfect example.
I'm sorry.
I knew he was going to try that.
Dude, she could have.
Go ahead and explain. Go ahead and explain how.
She could still be here. Okay, so ICE is going through investigation, right? Why was Renee Good blocking ICE with a vehicle? Right? He's still impeding investigations. I would not be in that situation myself. I would just let ICE do their thing. I could disagree with ICE on how they handle the immigration issue. If things go completely south, right? That's just how it's gonna be. But I'm also smart enough to not get in their way when there's investigation. And especially when the American people have voted for them. You can like it, not like it. It's voted for. It's gonna happen. And it's a really dumb move to do that kind of puzzle.
Yeah, the victim blaming was inevitable. Hey, Hector.
Hi, Blue. Thank you, Joel, for the jewels. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at YouTube for a hot minute. So if there's anything that I missed, I apologize. I'm not going back through it. What the fuck is wrong with these people? W's in the chat to Gucci for the $5 Venmo. She just said yes. That was in relation to the drop fund. W's in the chat to Angie for the $5 Venmo. Please kick him. W's in the chat to Brianna for the $5 Venmo. Obviously, guest suffers from brain rot and clickbait. Please, please, please drop. W's in the chat to Brittany for the final 35. Please permaban Jesus of Latter-day Saints. I'm assuming that's your username. Shit. Whoopsies. Damn it, Trisha, you're late. W's in the chat. When I say late, I just mean after the drop. W's in the chat to Trisha for the $10 Venmo. Make the lamb stop screaming, Clarence. I don't. Please understand something, y'all. This. I voted for Trump, and then falling back on being an independent and essentially ultimately being anti-democrat. I see through that shit. I see through that bullshit. Okay? If you're that dissatisfied with the parties, you don't vote for the parties. You'd be one of the non-voters who think they have an opinion and cry on the internet on a daily fucking basis versus the people who actually voted for some type of impact. I don't even believe he was an accelerationist. I don't believe that either. I believe there's a lot of values, clearly, as he's displayed some of them, that Donald Trump holds and positions that Republicans hold that resonate with him. And I'm sick and tired of people falling back on the independent bullshit and the both sides bullshit to hide the fact that they like Trump. They like his draconian policies. They like his character. They like the shit that he's pushing. Just say it with your full fucking chest. I talk to people on a daily basis who at least can say it with their full chest. Let's do this. Let's get the likes up to 500K and then we're going to raid Erica because I believe she's live. I'm beat, man. I just... Like, in the strangest way, that was the most infuriating conversation we've had today. And we've had some infuriating fucking conversations today. But that was just... It's the people that think they're better than this. They think they're this. That gets me. God, man. You'd be ignoring... Just fuck everybody. Oh, people getting harmed regardless. Okay? Everyone who says that. Renee Nicole Good, Alex Pretty, Keith Porter Jr., the other ones. I believe it's over 100 that are gone, but we're specifically talking about shootings like that we have on video. The people have been wrongfully detained and in some cases deported. Again, most of the stuff that I looked up showed records of his first term. They're still analyzing the ones from the second, unless it's specific names. The individuals who were not able to get their SNAP benefits during some of the tighter requirements and cuts to the SNAP program, B, the government shutdown initiated by Democrats under the falsehood of undocumented migrants qualifying for Medicare and Medicaid, the reductions to the VA office and veterans health care, the tax cuts that go to the uber rich versus the cuts we're seeing for families who need shit, all that fucking stuff. None of that matters to you. None of that fucking matters to you. You cannot tell me with your full chest and a straight face that Kamala Harris would have done that. You can't fucking tell me that. And if there was any indicator that Kamala Harris would, better yet, if Kamala Harris told a 10-year-old little boy that she would be dating them in 10 years. If Kamala Harris stormed into the dressing rooms of underage little boys at I don't know, fucking beauty pageant. If Kamala Harris talked about grabbing people by the dick. If Kamala Harris was found civilly liable of the sexual assault of a man. If Kamala Harris had housing companies where she put C on people of color's, POC's applications and denied them housing. If Kamala fucking Harris was a pathological, if Kamala Harris did all this shit, I would have been full-throatedly voting for Joe Biden in the 2024 election if he didn't drop out. I would have voted for that sleepy, decrepit fuck with stage 4 cancer over her. Because I could never in good conscience go for any other shit like that. And that's just character. Character is easy. In fact, you guys hyper-focus on character because, not hyper-focus, you guys ignore character because you know it's indefensible. We can talk about policies too. We can talk about Donald Trump revoking orders by Obama and Biden when it comes to accountability. Under Obama, the record that we kept of drone strikes, that's the reason why we don't know how many civilians Trump killed when in his first term, because the executive order Obama passed that counted his one was done away with because Trump wanted to ramp up the drone strikes and have no fucking accountability. In his second term, the federal police accountability report, he revoked the executive order keeping track of that. So we have a shit ton of cops out here wilding the fuck out, and we wouldn't have that report for the federal office, literally covering them. I can keep going. Kamala would fucking never. With that being said, if you check the links in my bio, or better yet, the TikTok shop, we have Kamala Would Never merchandise. I'm currently not wearing my hat, but you see the hoodie behind you. There's the banner, typically put it on the right. There's other hoodies where it's across the full chest, and on the back it has a quote from her: break ground, break glass, break barriers. It was a paraphrase of something she said in 2022, 2023 at a certain event. And on the side, you can't see it. It's literally Dark Kamala. Remember Dark Brandon? We have Dark Kamala with blue eyes. I think it's fucking dope. Check it out in the shop. If you're a subscriber to Discord or TikTok, you get a discount code. You can message me for it, or you can check the pin in the subscriber space channel to get that discount code available to you. Oh, W Savvy, you got a hat. Let's go. What did this person say? Our dollar would have been useless. Donald Trump has literally I'm sorry, hasn't the value of the dollar like went down? What is it, like 10% in his first term? His first year? Remember reading the report on that? Mm-hmm. What?
Yep, somewhere around there.
Hold on, let me read this stupid ass comment. Let me go back to this stupid ass fucking comment, bro. Where's that? I think it was a purple profile picture. Shit, I lost it. I lost the comment. No, we gotta go. Here we go. No, it wasn't purple. Our dollar would have been useless. Look at what happened in his first term already and how the dollar has been devalued. Iran would have a nuclear weapon. Wow, that's crazy. It's almost as if basically ushering in the guy who now absolutely wants them to have a nuclear weapon versus the last guy who was negotiating with you before you blew them the fuck up. It's almost as if it would be fucking asinine to say that under Harris, who would have been the diplomatic president, carrying on from the record of Democrats, specifically Biden and Obama at least, who made a deal that Trump wasn't able to, it would almost if it would be asinine to say that they would have a nuclear weapon under her. The economy would go to hell based off the fact that she was the vice president under Biden near the end of his term when the economy was doing amazing, and she was going to carry on those policies and others that would have ramped up some of the manufacturing and other fields that you're talking about. That's fucking stupid too. You guys just say a bunch of stupid shit. You want her to fail so bad. Because then, if she did, you can ignore the failures of your president. In his first term, mind you. Before he had the opportunity to royally start fucking up this time around.
It's very easy for them to hypothesize about how much she would fail.
Did, you could ignore the failure. Why do I sound nasally over there? It's weird.
But it's super easy for them to hypothesize about how much she would fail since she was never in charge.
Yeah.
So they just make up these scenarios to just with no like context, nothing to back any of these ideas, nothing to back up any of these statements. But we are actively seeing this country go to shit right now.
Almost there, y'all. Almost there. 500K, we out. 500K, we out. I just want to let y'all know, y'all were doing an amazing job on the taps. We had 200,000 likes in the first hour and 12 minutes, and now we're at 3 hours. By that trajectory, we should have been over 600K, but y'all got lazy. It's fine. All right. Let's at least knock out this final little thing, friendship necklaces, before we go. You know who you are. You're exempt. Don't touch it. You know who you are. Leave it to everyone else. And double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up and wrap up this fucking show.
I thought that he was supposed to be like this amazing businessman. So he was like the great negotiator. So he could get a deal done so easily and everybody would be happy. But
Okay. I'll mute up.
But we're seeing him just bully people with tariffs. We're seeing him bombing Iran because he pulled us out of the JCPOA unilaterally without actually negotiating a quote unquote better deal, since he claimed that the previous deal was bad. Like, he doesn't even remember the deals that he made.
Oh, thank you, Manny. I'm just now checking the live chat. Yeah, that's what I figured. I just wanted to double check. I figured the circumstances would have to be like criminal or invalid, which I was correct. Yeah, removed us from who, of course. Mm-hmm. Harris would never brought tariffs or lies about who pays them. Harris would have absolutely brought tariffs. If we're going off the track record of Biden, but it would have been strategic ones like we saw. There would have been tariffs levied specifically against China in specific markets. There would have been tariffs in regards to protectionism of U.S. steel. We saw the Biden-Harris administration at the end of their term, throughout their entire term, and Trump has somewhat picked up on it. Actually, he was kind of walking it back. Blocked the big Nippon steel deal. You guys remember that? That was blocked. Biden-Harris. They were actually protecting manufacturing here in the United States.
Like, Trump pulled us out of, like, he renegotiated NAFTA into the USMCA and then forgot that he made that deal and said that it was a terrible deal.
It was trash. It was a terrible deal. Exactly.
And doesn't know who would have agreed to it.
I don't know what to say about y'all sometimes. 0 to A. Did you vote for Trump?
Bro, I'm gonna give you like a foreign perspective, if I may. I'm in Australia, but I was gonna.
If you're not in the United States, respectfully, I don't give a fuck about what you think about our politics. You can put your foreign perspective in the chat or in the Discord community if you were a part of it. Literally said I was wrapping up and I was just going to see if you were a Trump supporter so we can, as we waited on the likes. But then the likes are there. Fuck the gift goal. I don't care anymore. All right. I guess Erica will be live on YouTube and I can raid her. Hold on, let me set this up. God, tonight's so fucking painful. I think Erica's on her own tonight, bro. I think she's gonna have to figure that shit out. I was initially gonna coast, but I'm over it now. Let me get this edited here. So you guys over on the tube side are gonna go show some love to Erica. All right. You don't have to go over there. The second I end this live, it's going to automatically send you over to hers. So you are good in that department. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to bid y'all farewell right now. Greatly appreciate everyone who tuned in to the live. That's not very polite. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I look like I give a fuck about being polite? Well, YouTubers, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your likes, your shares, your comments, your subscriptions. If you like the platform and everything I have to say, please feel free to do all the other things I mentioned. Links are going to be in the description of this live stream or better yet, the bio of this profile for all the ways you'd like to support me, the merchandise shop, so on and so forth. So check all those out before you go. Join the Discord community, do all the things. And I greatly appreciate y'all.